before the first gen even pops.
Can make you wanna call my name.
Trying to bait out a hit there, but not able to get it. Deity able to get away. That was a missed decisive strike. And that is an insta-down.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Vigo's Court. I am your Judge LaRugard, and with me today is Counselor Poggy and special guest of the jury, TydeTyme. I'm sure you all know who that is, but anyway, TydeTyme, introduce yourself. How are you doing today?
Hi, my name's TydeTyme. Doing okay. It's COVID. I'm dealing with everything. We good. How's everyone else doing?
I feel that.
Good.
Anyway, so we've got another exciting matchup for you guys today, and Poggy, let's see what we got on the dock today. What we got today? You're up here now. I have to get used to this.
Yeah, I have to. You're in my waist. It's really weird. Anyway, here we go. Here's your docket, sir.
Hoggard confirmed. Oh. Anyway, today is Week 4 matchups conference rivals Sampletex versus Deity. And they're going to be going head-to-head on the Dead Dog Saloon with 136 square tiles, 8,704 meters squared, 6 hooks minimum, 11 hooks match. And I don't care what you tell me, it is definitely 2 permagens. Just because it moves locations just a fraction of an inch every single time you load in doesn't mean it's not a permagen. It's 2
not a
permagens.
It's not a permagen.
It's definitely a permagen. Fight me.
We're talking,
anyway.
I think Tide is looking all like, what the hell are they talking about?
What the hell's a permagen?
So, you know, on the so Dead Dog Saloon, right? There are the gallows where a gen.
Oh, you're talking about the guaranteed gens.
Yes. And then there's a second floor of that saloon.
Yeah.
The gen technically has 2 different spots it can spawn in, but it's always on the top of that second story.
I thought I had 3 up there.
Wait, what? Oh man.
Yeah, I think I saw a 3rd one. I know what you're talking about, though. The fact it swaps sides. I might be wrong. It's been a hot minute. But, you know, okay. So,
Man, that would be. Can you imagine the 3-gen that could happen there if...
well, only one could happen there at a time, but
right.
It has little spots up there. Likes to sit. One more favorable than the other. Right next to the window is the best one.
Oh, dude, the right next to the window is so rude. Like, you're never going to catch a survivor up there off guard. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, no. And then they get the little drop down, and then you're like, oh, I got to vault here, and then we go to the pallet, the guaranteed pallet right outside that vault, and... Yeah. Does anyone else hate breakable walls as much as I do?
Yes. I was a fan of them at first, and then I was just like within a week, I'm like, I hate them. I'm so sick of them already. Just no. I appreciate that they're breaking up the infinites by adding, like, to the update to Crotus Pen, the Asylum. They took out an infinite by putting in a breakable wall, but that's about all. Yeah, it's like it's not much better.
Let's not talk about Crotus Pren these days.
Yeah, can we not? Can we not do that?
They introduced some brand new infinite fat shame spots that I just
oh man.
I just got those firsthand.
I was in your stream for that.
I was like, wait, it's also a one-way fat spot. I learned that too. You can go through it one way, but you can't come back. And it doesn't the level design on it is so horrible. It's like Behavior, made that map, had decent design. I mean, they're not the best, but then they came out with that, and it's like, who the hell thought making teeny little metal pieces stick out of the ground as a wall was a good idea?
I have no idea.
It's that time.
Oh, it's mood. That is mood. I feel that. Like, I appreciate the graphical update side of it, but yeah, the decision making as far as the obstacles, I'm not so sure about. Like the upside room, like where they do the lobotomies or the procedures. You have the gallery and everything. It's so cool aesthetically, but like,
That's usually the problem. Is you gotta sacrifice everything good to have something look nice. Sometimes.
For sure, I feel that. Anyway, so we got some stats to go over. Honestly, a lot of these stats are kind of even. The gen completion and the escape percentage are the ones that stick out, but honestly, that average score at the end is pretty dang close. 19 to 22, that's really, really close. Hook differential, 2.13 to 3.25. Seriously, like, according to stats, these teams are pretty evenly matched. If it wasn't for the fact... What's up?
ST's looking a little hot there. Escape percent and gen percent's so much higher.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
sure,
that's true.
the average score may not be rocking it, but I mean, if you got an 84 escape percent and then you've got only against a 50, I mean, they're probably going to walk out with this still with the 50. Two dead, two out.
I think so. I think their Survivor Squad might
I
take
got my
this
money
one.
on DT. I got my money on DT, sorry.
Let's see what the audience
No,
thinks.
understandable. Understandable. I
It's
imagine
close.
after the games that we've seen of Deity so far, I think the audience would be swayed to Deity. I'm not discounting
it's
sample text.
52% in favor of Deity, 48% for sample text. It's super close. The audience is saying.
Really?
Yeah,
Is that trial 1?
that is trial 1. Yeah.
So they are really putting their hope in certified persona here because they are on killer, correct?
Yeah. Sample text is on killer. Deity striving first. Here's the squad, by the way: GPU, Sad, Squid, G-Top, Q-Top, and certified persona on killer. Yeah.
I think you mean The Rock.
The Rock. I forget that that's your
So
name because
fun-
it says GPU and not The Rock. So
Yeah. What?
So,
They
fun
insisted to
fact,
call him
I
that.
had the pleasure and honor of facing Deity the other day as in a small scrim, and I don't think I've ever been that brutally destroyed by a team in recent weeks. That was pretty crushing, honestly. I was impressed. That said, I have not had the pleasure of playing Sample Text, so Sample Text, hit me up. I would love to try and kill you sometime. Just putting that out there.
Q-Top's holding a flashlight. That's unusual.
Ooh.
That's really
Is
unusual.
it the new party flashlight? I got
No,
hit by
they're
a
not
party
allowed to bring
flashlight
those.
before. What? I love the confetti. I'm gonna motion to change a rule here.
I mean, that's not that bad of a rule change, really, just allowing the party flashlight. But currently, event items are not allowed yet.
At the current moment. There's always some kind of like
He looks
additional
like he's
thing
gonna
because not
cry.
all event items are equal.
Why can't I get my
Dude,
confetti?
speaking of event items, I heard this, but I haven't been able to confirm it. Are we getting event toolboxes?
Maybe? Is that a thing?
Confetti generators! Yay!
I'd be down for that.
I think, haven't we seen confetti generators before? Or maybe that was confetti hooks last year?
I know we've
think.
had confetti hooks. I don't remember confetti
Yeah.
gens. That might have been during my blackout time.
Did I miss confetti hooks? We had Chinese firecracker hooks back when, and
That's what it
Chinese
was.
firecracker generators as well.
That's what it was.
That might have been it then. Looks like we are ready to
Oh,
go,
they're going
though.
in.
We're kicking it
Yep.
in.
All right, let's check out the rules. We'll be back in a moment to start game number 1. Hello, everyone. We're going to be going over these rules and explaining how they work. So, 2 teams will go head-to-head, playing each roll twice for a total of 4 trials. In play order is home team kills, survives, and then kills. In addition, teams get points in the trial for objectives, escapes, and hooks. And teams can't bring or use keys, iridescents, event items, or add-ons. Survivors can only bring 2 of a perk or item. Survivors can only bring yellow and brown items, and BP bonuses are awarded post-trial. Broken rules may result in penalties or restarts. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back here again with these conference rivals, and yeah, we're already in game. They loaded up quick. We got a Blight, and he is on the move already, and I'm so used to having my mouse at the bottom of the screen that I almost missed being able to change the screens for a second there. But boy, oh boy, I do not like Blight games. They are very motion-sick driving games for me. And we have Tide as well on commentary with me. And Tide, I just wanted to get your thoughts on Blight because I don't really play that much Blight. So I'm wondering what you're thinking as a competitive player. Would you be bringing a Blight to this map?
No, because, well, let's be fair. Why would you pick Blight over Hillbilly to start? Blight is the lesser Hillbilly, and then you've got Demogorgon, which is the better Blight. Demogorgon gets the speed instantly without having to bump to a wall and risk it. There was a hit here that you just missed that, like, Blight hit into the hook and then sat there for a brief moment when he could have already ended the chase. So unfortunately, going with Blight, it's kind of like you're giving yourself a bit of a disadvantage here, especially with all the indoor houses here. There's too much that a survivor can dive into to get away from a straight line attack.
That's actually a really good point. And I don't play Blight, so I definitely wouldn't have brought Blight. Why are they just... somebody disconnected. 2 people disconnected. 3 people disconnected.
Silver.
Do we have a problem? Is it a forfeit?
Hopefully not.
Or is it something else? Is it the servers? Oh no. Everybody disconnected except the killer. I think Deity forfeits. I don't know. I'm just kidding. Hang on. Sam, what happened? Go find out. He'll be back in a minute, I'm sure. Right, Sam? You're going to go figure it out for us, buddy?
So Squid Savage was literally stuck. Like, he couldn't move. He was just sitting on... And it said network connection error on a screen. So
this guy.
Weird bug I've never seen where he was in the game, but it said network connection error. Very weird. Very weird.
I see. Well, I guess, are we going to have to go again then? Wait for that one to come back? So, I mean, I guess we can recover, like, what we were talking about with Blight, because...
Okay, so, look. The killers of this game, which it shocks me in this that I haven't seen Nurse yet, the killers of this game typically fall into certain categories on how they attack. You have killers that can defy defenses, that's Nurse. You have the insta-downs, that's your chainsaws. And then you have your mobility. And then majority of the newer killers are just rehashes of old powers with a little bit mixed in. For example, Clown. Clown's got a slowing bottle. Freddy has slowing traps. And then Freddy also has the ability to teleport to generators. So Freddy technically is the better Clown in a way, but Freddy can change his powers up for pallets. But when you're talking to someone like Blight, Blight's like Demogorgon, except that Blight can run a long distance, which is it's good. You can run a long distance, but Wraith can also be invisible and run a long distance undetected. And then Hillbilly, who has an insta-down in his kit, can run the long distance and insta-down someone. And, it just comes down to you're taking a killer who is not as well equipped as others and just putting yourself at a disadvantage. I mean, it's not like you couldn't do well. It's just you could likely do better with Hillbilly if you were going to go for the speed across the map with the Tinker combo. You absolutely could.
So, one of the things I've heard when it comes to Hillbilly and Blight comparison is that Hillbilly had to die to make Blight because we had Bumper Car Billy back in the day that you could play with. And then they just took that concept, took his add-ons away, and made a character that's made around bumper carring into objects.
I get that, but see, now I'm talking about Hillbilly at base and Blight with add-ons. So now you give Hillbilly add-ons, and you're just far superior to Blight. It's a no-brainer. Plus, I believe that he even has a stealth saw combo now, especially if you're going to be running Tinker, where you just run over, they can't hear the chainsaw, and there's a chance you get the snipe if they're not paying attention.
The only difference is that in Vigo's iridescent add-ons are allowed, so the silent chainsaw add-on isn't actually allowed currently.
Wow,
otherwise, I would love that. That's so much fun.
It is. Either way, though, I mean, like, Blight can only damage them one at a time. And that's if he gets the hit. Now, there's also the penalty to Blight that is far worse than what Hillbilly has. If Hillbilly misses, he stands still for about 2 seconds. If Blight misses, you're going all the way to Albuquerque, and then you have to come back to that, and the survivors likely run in the opposite direction. It's just...
Oh, yeah.
Blight was just made very weird.
I 100% agree. That is one of the, like, I consider myself somewhat of a Blight main. It is the most frustrating thing when you hit an object going directly at a 100, like perpendicular to it, and you slide off for no reason.
Oh, you slide. Oh, God. I have Worst part, too, is when you're not aiming at a wall, but there's like this teeny little corner sticking out, and you bump into it, and you're like, okay, go again, and then bump into it, and you're like, this is just not my day. But either way, like, for example, now if you run Blight with Save the Best for Last, you do get the bonus that your power won't cause you to lose stacks when you strike the Obsession. But Demogorgon's way better at that because Demogorgon can just use it without like, okay, I gotta slam into the wall, then I gotta aim it, and again, if Demogorgon misses, he's stunned for 2 seconds. But again, Blight goes on a journey way out into the distance, and it's like, well, the recovery is just not worth the power. So I really hope that they show me that Blight is a lot different than what I already know, but we'll have to wait and see.
I've seen some good Blights, but you actually touched on a really good point there with Demogorgon, because he's supposed to be getting retuned. Like his add-on's supposed to be, getting reworked a bit in the near future. And I'm really curious what it gives for him. I want to see Demogorgon in competitive play. Demogorgon's like one of my favorite killers alive.
They probably won't see Demogorgon. Oh, go ahead.
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say I really think that Blight has a good outer map pressure on this map, but I don't really know what he was gonna do in that building that's really gonna be massively beneficial. But if it gets to like late game, you got one person dead, 2 gens left up, and they're trying to play smart, you might actually get some use out of Blight on the edge of the map over there.
That's a good point. There is a potential 3-gen area over in the dead zone. Once you get those 4 or 5 pallets out of the way in that area past the gallows, it's a dead zone for survivors, and Blight can just rush around, and with the especially with the ring out on we saw, can just constantly chain hits between them. That might be what they're going for. I'm not really sure.
Well, hopefully the survivors know that and do those gens first. I mean, when it comes to playing Survivor, you always do the most dangerous generators first, and you do them separately, because even if Blight comes along and chases one person, it's all a time game. If the Blight hits somebody, it's X amount of time to recover and get the second hit in, so your ally should be good enough to run the killer for approximately 45 seconds, no less. If you do less than that, you're not worth your salt as a survivor, or you got caught out really bad. But if you can make it for about 45 seconds, that's half of every gen, a little over, and then he's got to pick them up, hook them, and then try to stop 3 other people from finishing 3 gens. The pressure should be real, and it should be concise and decisive.
For sure. And that's a very good point, is that the good teams, you're not going to catch a survivor out in the middle of nowhere. Even if it's like slightly out of place, you get the hit and they immediately run to the safest tile, and then like you said, initiate the chase is going to take at least 30 to 40 seconds. So yeah, and the times that I have played any decent team on this map, you see the 2 central gens go, and then you just slowly see the ones in the outer edges being picked off one at a time, and it's oppressive sometimes to play against. We ready up to go again?
I'm trying to. The new survivors are. I pulled up a wiki, so I know who they are.
Mood.
I still don't know who they are. Oh, it was Zarina. Okay,
Zarina.
What was catch me off guard is I was like, "Who is that at the top?" Don't recognize. Nobody plays.
I do that a lot. I do that a lot. Don't feel bad.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, Yui's a thing. How come I don't see Yui's in my game? I haven't seen Yui since I returned, unless they got some insanely weird cosmetic that makes them look like Fang.
They both have really bright cosmetics, so
damn it.
I can see that.
Okay, I can see that.
I get them confused often.
Yeah, there's a couple times I
Okay.
get them confused too.
Finally, we're here with these survivors and their new awkward stances. And Blight again. Hopefully he can do pretty well. He was unfortunately not able to see a whole lot in the last game as a result of the standing still glitch. Whatever that was. But yeah, Blight's already getting a hit on Sad very quick. And they already got a totem down? Oh boy. That could be problematic for Blight. And
now,
that is
based
his
on
arena.
what I saw in between games for that totem, he was running just Ruin with no one dying, so that was his Ruin loss. And that hit upon the Blight Survivor. Wake up! That was an easy hit. You could have dodged it. There's a pallet there. What are you doing?
No. They're being a little bit weird. Yeah, that was some weird play for sure. And now she's working her way through the Killer Shack, but Blight is also kind of struggling. Wow, he gets that door down fast, though, which makes us a little bit more unsafe, while they can still use this wall to some good effect. And now running
no, he's
around the
getting looped.
outside. Yeah. And he may not have to drop the pallet, actually. Yeah. He's just abandoning him. So let's go check on Blight.
One thing Blight should have done was force that pallet early. That would have made that area completely safe and added to his dead zone, which he didn't do. So that leaves them with a very promising late game.
I completely agree. That's usually how I would play it too. If I get to Killer Shack early, I'll take out that pellet if I can, or try to bait it out quickly. Because it's
Now I'm
obviously a
curious to
fairly
what's
strong loop.
Blight's plan. Because he didn't hit that gen. He's not trying to regress, and he doesn't have his Ruin.
He doesn't seem to have a plan. He's kind of running around aimlessly at the moment. Maybe a
Come
little
on,
bit
Blight,
of
you're
nerves.
supposed to show me the magic.
Oh, that was a magical door hit. I like that. That was good.
It was a good hit. His Tinker taking effect, going over to the Gallows gen. Is he going to make it in time? I doubt it. He's got to go all the way around. That's actually a safe generator. Survivors shouldn't have rushed that one of all of them. Oh, you doing okay there, Blight? Oh, he gets the hit. There we go. Right under the
He's
pallet.
struggling.
All right, Survivors.
He's struggling.
Let's see that save. No save. Oh. Who's that in the distance? I have to know. Who's that running on the first floor?
They're all over
You
there.
could've saved them so bad. It's a basement hook. Let's just see how this plays out later then.
And this is, of course, a strong basement, too. The center basement being the strongest of the two.
Yeah, it sucks when you get the side basement on the side here. It's just, getting down there is such a pain.
But they're going for it already. I think either Claudette or Nancy's going in for it. But Light's already back checking on it. Smart. Only 2 gens remaining, though, by the way. Current score 1-4 in favor of Deity at the moment. They did that unhook pretty well, though. They got the unhook, they got out, and not a whole lot of harassment. Although, once again, they're standing still. I wonder if there's a problem there.
No, I think she's baiting out the borrowed time hit. For sure.
Yeah. Yep, that's
and he
what it was.
slid on the object. No! I guarantee Blight was going to try to bounce off the object back into the basement. But again, this is why I say Blight is the lesser. It's these unfortunate setups.
Oh.
And there he goes again on the
another
box,
one.
not able to get it.
Yep.
What a shame.
Oh, man.
What a shame.
2 gens remaining.
Big
They're
generators,
fairly
though.
spread out, too.
Whoa, early pallet drop. Claudette, what was that? I mean, I do that on my bad days. Oh, boy.
Now, to be fair, even though I would definitely normally agree with you, these teams are pretty strong, especially Deity with their Survivor Squad. And what they tend to do is drop pallets really early in chase to avoid getting downs at all and just deny points to the killer. And that's what we've been seeing a lot. CDM is another team that's really well known for that.
I hope to see it pay off, because if they somehow muck that up, I'm just going to laugh.
It really depends on how fast they're able to get gens done, because once you run out of pallets, obviously, if you still got too many gens left, you're not going to be able to do it.
Absolutely. Now, see, there was a precise moment of a dash that wasn't set up for lethal rush, and where Hillbilly would have just sawed her face in, Blight couldn't do anything. And then he had to get stunned after using his power, which really sucks. And that's the downfall of Blight. There's too much risk to his power being worth anything, and they're still at 2 generators. Now, the generator should run him at about 80 seconds each. We got 2 Tinker procs. It seems that they're about to wrap this game up. He's got 2 hooks, and they're going for the save, which means 2 generators probably finishing the... Ooh, Claudette turning into a Blendette real fast.
I mean, to be fair, so would I be. I would be definitely doing that on this map. It's a Blendette haven. But I will say also that you're not wrong. The game is pretty much over for Certified Persona. I think he's going to not be able to pull out a win here. He's only got 2 hooks. They only have 1 gen left. He doesn't even have a confirmed kill on anybody. It's just not good.
Nah, his Tinker blew up on a 3rd separate gen. It's likely over, but it's about how many hooks he's going to secure between them and getting out of the gates, I guess. It's going pretty fast. I love it. This is exactly how I imagine survivors to work in every game that I play against. You just load in, all your generators pop instantly. It's the best feeling in the world.
Well, it's not usually this bad for our teams, but Certified Persona is just having a really tough time right now. Maybe a little bit of nerves getting to him, but also, like, maybe he was dead from the outset just for bringing Blight.
I'm telling you, Blight's about as equivalent as Wraith in terms of the usefulness of his power. You can get use out of it. You're just not going to get the same value as a high-tier killer.
Right. And they are getting exit gates open. It's 1 extra point per exit gate, I believe.
Claudette's injured, but able to get away because Blight has to take that stun. Does she have a plan? There's the body block.
Oh, nice body block.
Claudette running through another pallet. Do they
and the
know
other
where
is
they're
getting
going?
open as well. They do, yeah.
They're going
to the open exit.
I don't even know where they got. They got the other open gate. Okay, I was like, well, she's opening the gate behind them. Where are they going?
Yeah. Yeah, they wanted both exit points, I think, and now they're trying to get all 4 out, but 3 of them are injured. They could get 1 down. There we go. Q-Top going down right by the exit gate and right next to a hook. Probably going to get that last hook and a confirmed kill on Zarina, unfortunately, for Q-Top, but it's still not going to be a ton of points for them.
It's not over for Q-Top yet. Don't cut it out. You know, you still got 2 survivors in game, even though 1 ran out. You've still got 2 healthy survivors. He doesn't have Noed. He's kind of existent. Now, they just got to go into the basement and pull them off. Hopefully they brought the borrowed time.
They ain't doing that.
Gosh.
I appreciate your spirit for sure.
Basement. Oh man!
But basically, they're just denying the points. They don't want to give them any extra points by getting the unhook and potentially getting more hooks. I think is what they're trying to avoid. Take their win and get out. That's how we see these upper tier players play for sure. A lot of the time. Anyway, you want to do some post game analysis on their build? We have Corrupt Intervention, Hex, Ruin, Tinkerer, Pop Goes the Weasel with Alchemist Ring and the Umbra Salts. Take it away.
Okay, so the first issue I see here is that he's got a lot of generator defense, but he's running Ruin with Pop Goes the Weasel. Unfortunately, if Ruin is active, you can't use Pop Goes the Weasel. So he's praying that Ruin gets destroyed, and then he's got Pop Goes the Weasel. You're actually taking away an entire perk you could be using. And instead, you know, you're kind of gimping yourself. You only have 3 perks all game long. But I guess with the Pop Goes the Weasel, you're guaranteeing you have some sort of generator defense afterwards. But then you brought the first one, which is another generator defense perk. And then he had Tinker, another generator defense perk. He didn't bring anything to actually help him secure Chase. Chase being save the best for last. One of the best perks for any killer, even... well, except for Nurse, but even Hillbilly, like having that increased speed on your basic attack while having a power that allows you to protect your stacks is probably one of the best combos. And then you run Sloppy Butcher so that the healing is a lot slower. And all of that kind of accumulates into generator defense, because if someone has to heal, then they're not doing generators. And if you slow the healing down, it prevents any use of self-care, which a lot of these players aren't even running. So then they have to heal each other. That means you got 2 players off of the healing, nobody running botany to counter you. Sloppy Butcher would do you wonders. Instead of focusing all 4 perks on something that affects a generator, try powering your killer first, especially Blight.
What a beautifully well thought out post-game analysis. Most of that stuff I hadn't even thought about, and I appreciate that. We're going to go into post-game review real quick, and we'll be back for some highlights, and then you can do some more analysis of some highlights. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are watching Week 4 matchups, conference rivals, Sample Text versus Deity, and here's what you just witnessed in trial number 1. We saw all 5 generators getting done. Deity doing a really strong showing with their survivor squad, but unfortunately only 3 got out. Q-Top dying on hook at the last second, and they were not going to risk going for him, of course. With only 3 hooks for the killer, a disastrous game for Certified Persona and a 1K, obviously. It was a rough showing for sure. Sample text 9 to Deity's 23 in trial number 1, bringing Deity ahead, leading into the next game, trial number 2. And their logo is a little bit transparency issues, which I'll have to look into in the future. But that's Deity's logo right there. And yeah, let's do some highlights, and we'll be right back.
So one thing it's a minor thing, but when they were looping the shack at the beginning, you saw Blight crash through the door right as Zarina rounded the corner, and I was like, perfect cinematic horror movie moment. Just saying. Like for all the weird things that happen in the game of Dead by Daylight, I adore how many cinematic moments you actually have in the game. It's pretty cool. Who would have thought that a horror game would, actually have horror moments? But oh goodness, I guess moving forward with this is pretty much how my games with Deity went. You try and get any kind of pressure you can, and they deny it. They play super safe almost all the time. I've never seen them really get a pallet stun before. I don't think they care for it. I think if you go down, they're like, you went down, we're going to pop a gen while, they walk 12 seconds to hook you. Just, oh my goodness. Gens fall against these guys so rapidly. I don't know. And I guess, especially for this map, because I've noticed a lot of the newer geometry is the stuff that Blight slides off of. Have you noticed that, or is that just me?
Well, it typically has to do with placeable objects such as the chests and stuff, like not walls or anything. The walls are usually fine, but things that spawn in, hooks and chests usually have the wonky setup. For example, he slid off the chest twice, and there's this kind of trough that was set out there, and he slid right off that, even though it was completely perpendicular to him. But one of the biggest things here is that even though there wasn't a lot of pressure, there wasn't a lot of pallet drops on the important pallets in the first place. He didn't pose much of a threat, using too much of his power, missing way too much, and then being punished way too much. An M1 killer could have just taken a lot of hits and gotten some value out of that. It came down to the game. The way this game was played was perfectly on the survivor side. Generators all done in a timely fashion, all kind of spread out perfectly, and the Blight just, even though he's got mobility, he has no threat, and he wasn't able to stop them from getting the generators done, even with 4 perks designed to slow it down, which he got no value out of.
And this is the first series of games we're going to start seeing where Undying is no longer as powerful as it was. So Undying Ruin is going to see a lot less play now, which I think is why some people are resorting to doing Ruin and Pop, because they expect Ruin to be done relatively quickly, but they want maybe enough harassment in the early game that they get some value out of it. Honestly,
go ahead. In a competitive field, I don't understand why anyone's running Ruin. It has no value against people who know what they're doing. And this is competitive, so I have to assume the 4 survivors are in comms, know what they're doing. And even if you scare one survivor off a generator, you're not going to scare the other 3 off. Your chase is going to be the most important thing in this. As you just saw, he had Ruin, he had Pop Goes the Weasel, he had every perk thing in the book, he had the fastest killer you could have side Hillbilly, and still couldn't stop. So it shows that in this type of competitive field, the most important thing is going to be chase and how much you get that early game snowball, not necessarily how well you could defend the generators. It's only going to take them about 3 minutes to finish all the generators without interruption. So it's all in the speed of you snowballing, interrupting them from doing the generators instead of trying to regress the generators back down.
Yeah, in the wise words of my killer sensei Domo, he says it's not a matter of stopping the gens and, trying to get the 4K. It's literally how many hooks can you get before they leave you.
Yep. I agree with that.
I get that now. That was not something that I conceptualized before joining the competitive scene. And I'm still really fresh to it. I've only been in this thing for about a month now. And it is a stark difference to pubs. What was your time going into it? What was your experience like diving in?
To the competitive scene?
Yeah.
It's more like depends on your rule set, right? Because Dead by Daylight has no solid rule set on what a win or loss is, other than the emblem system, which we can't use here. But for example, tournaments that I've run, I'll use a sort of blood point system where it's valuable to do additional things. This system here is valuable in you playing the game for what it is, get your generators done, get as many hooks as possible, follows the basic rules. And so due to that, just like if this were true competition, it's all about getting them down, getting them on the hook, and proceeding to the next one as fast as possible. Which is why I said Hillbilly is better than Blight. Because when you take a hit on a survivor, you have to recover. But when that survivor goes down from full health to none with the chainsaw, you've got the best value in the game right there.
We do see a Bubba quite often in these games.
I'm excited to see Bubba if we see him in the future. I'm voting for Bubba.
I would like that for sure. Bubba's a really cool killer too. They're not like hyper aggressive as far as just pressuring across the map, but man, when you're in chase, you are hyperventilating the whole time. I do not like being in chase with Bubba. He scares me. He scares me a lot. Do you play Bubba often, or?
I play everything. Everything I get my hands on, I just play it, because the best way to understand things is to play it. And unfortunately, M1 killers are the majority, so save the best for last has become one of my favorite perks, and Sloppy Butcher slows everyone down. So I'm really hoping that we see some Sloppy Butcher. I want to see some save the best for last, and I want to see more than 3 hooks in a game.
I will say, you might... So last time we saw Squid play, they are apparently a Bubba main with almost 4,000 hours, they said. We might see Bubba? Maybe? I would hope so. We might actually see them play it. Bubba's really fun to watch. I don't know if I've ever seen them get a ton of kills in a game, but it is really fun to watch. There's one clip we had, I think it was week 1, where a Bubba chasing down a survivor with the chili and getting the... they went for the window shack vault, but they got the tantrum hit on him at the very last second. It's always down to the wire with them. It's so much fun to watch. And so we got Certified Persona, Viceplin, Dragon's Wrath, and Kieran playing, and it is going to be Squid for Deity. Deity, despite the fact that they are a very tight-knit survivor squad, I think almost all their survivors can play killer interchangeably, because we've seen Q-Top and Squid both play. I just haven't seen the rest of them yet.
I think your most valuable survivor is going to be someone who does play killer, because then they understand the point of view of a killer. Back in the day, years ago, when people would play both sides, you would understand how to manipulate the field of view from a killer, and you'd be able to easily just always turn them around, which some really good players have shockingly pulled off.
That's a very good point. I played this game for 2.5 years, like almost exclusively a survivor, only like 400 hours or so. I wasn't very into the game, but then I started streaming it, and I've got like almost 1,000 hours in killer now. And I think my time in survivor is what made me into a decent killer in the first place, because I knew exactly what I hated to see as a survivor. So I just pulled it off as killer. Oh, goodness. Are we good to go yet? Are they done checking?
Yep, good to go.
Sweet.
I'm curious to what the toolboxes are for. The value of them has really dropped off since their change.
True.
Unless they're not going for sabotage, are they?
No, usually we don't see Sabo plays. Usually what it is I think they just try and get that, what is it? You can get 6 or 7 seconds off of a gen at the very end. So sometimes using it, usually what we see is the last 2 gens, they'll, jump on and try and jam it out with that.
That makes
so
sense.
we will see. Oh, and we need to roll the next rules video. So we are loading in.
All right, everyone, we're going to be looking at how the game works from the killer side. Now, killer points. Each survivor is worth a total of 6 points per survivor. First hook is 1 point, second is 2, and third is 3 points. Progressing is only 1 point. Killer bonus points. Every 5,000 blood points is 1 point. Getting to hatch first is also 1 point. A killer can only be used a total of 3 times in the season. Killers have a 150 millisecond ping limit. Also, should a reset occur, the killer and perks must remain the same. Bringing the wrong map is a forced reset, and minus 10 points. Bringing a killer a 4th time is 10 points off, and changing a build after is also 10 points. Not being on the roster is a 5 point and a reset.
Anything. Man, I know so much about mechanics. It's is lovely. And I've spent way too much time in this game to not know how this stuff works. And when you play against survivors that know what they're doing, that know how to properly react, and especially since these ones are in calm, they should be proving everything I say correctly. And that blight got trashed. So who do we have here? We have a hag. Fantastic. I want to see this hag. Show me what a hag main can do. Now,
Hag
from
facts.
this, if I was a competitive team, I would have one person designated to popping every trap around that hag constantly. You do not let her set up. You do not give her a second chance.
And I officially don't like you for saying that. How dare you? I'm a hag main, so don't ever encourage people to do that.
Look, I did a talk, and I had footage of exactly what to do against a hag who sets up and has a good setup, especially on the saloon here. Every setup she's doing, someone should just go pop it, and it either forces her to make the decision to keep trying to set up or to give chase, and she's one of the worst chase characters you can have in the game.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree. I never chase my hag unless it's like 2 people dead already or 1 person dead and they're just not really doing good on gens. Then you can kind of commit to chases. It's still not ideal, but it's, at the beginning of the game, though, yeah, you don't want to be committing to chase. And I think that's exactly what Squid is starting to kind of do. No, he abandons it. That's good. Good boy. And then he leaves it behind and drops a trap there, which is smart. And he has almost all his traps on the board right now, too, on this side of the map as well. He might be trying to protect his 3-gen early.
Yep, that's exactly what a hag should do. You should have the dead zone protected, have your 3 closest gens, and all your traps set out. And when you do that, then you go out and chase, and if people bother your traps, then go ham. Which, one thing I probably would have done on a competitive team is make sure someone always has a flashlight. Because if those are allowed, then you can just completely deny hag her power.
So I think there might have been a haunted ground that broke because they are exposed and she went down in 1 hit. And that was really nice by the hag to get her down that quick. And a basement early. Wow, hag is devastating in the basement too.
One question is, why would you destroy the totem over getting the generator done? If you've got 80 seconds to get that generator done, you don't get additional points for totems, do you?
No, other than the blood points, no. And the blood points do actually add bonus to the end of the game score. But other than that, there's really not a whole lot of benefit from doing it. And it was a risky play. I mean, haunted ground is obviously a risk that could definitely happen. And, of course, exactly what we saw, unfortunately. Well, fortunately for the hag.
I'm hoping the team has designated that there's a dead zone. They need to get one of those generators done. There's the save. Now, do they do the heal under? No, walking away.
They're just going to leave.
Dangerous.
I think this is the wise play, though. Maybe. We'll see. It
we'll
depends
see
on
how
where
they're
hag
going
is.
slow about it. The problem with that, hag could return and just get a free down. And
she's nowhere near basement.
I think hag's oh, that's right.
Darn.
Basement's not in the shack this time, is it?
Yeah. It's behind the saloon on this one, unfortunately, which means that she just kind of left her basement pressure. She had that early basement pressure she could have capitalized on and just completely disregarded it. As soon as the unhook happened, I would have been going right back to it.
Whoa. The hag main struggle on the loop, but then gets the hit anyways. Poor Nia. Trying too hard. And then, again, the chase is just there ended. And self-carrying shouldn't waste your med kit. You can go get your allies to do it. You're on comms. Like, the med kit should be in for emergencies when someone can't heal you. And they're wasting pallets in the dead zone. That's another problem that's going to bite them later. And if none of them are getting the generators done in the dead zone, if nobody's breaking those traps, hag wins at the end of this if they don't play this right.
I completely agree. I mean, I've seen that a lot. Survivors using this, their items early, and then they don't have them for later. Using these pallets in the middle too early and too quickly, and especially since they only have 1 gen done, you got to be careful. You got to realize how many gens you have and how fast your team is progressing before you start throwing pallets down.
So the beauty of what Nia just did there is pop a trap, bait the hag, have hag waste time placing another trap. So then go back in there, pop the same trap, bait her back, get that done.
I think she did.
She should have all 10 traps back in her. She's only got 1 back in her pocket. So the team's not really focused on how to counterplay the hag. They're just trying to get generators done, which might lead them to a late demise.
Not really sure what Claudette was doing there, running to nowhere land. I guess there was not really a whole lot out there at all, but maybe just trying to get her far away from the middle of the map. But another generator does pop, and another one's on the way. And it does seem as though they're going to at least get a handful of hooks. I mean, she's already got, what, 2 hooks now?
2 hooks, so she's on par with Blight. Blight caught 1 more at the end, so if she gets at least 1 more hook, she's in the lead. For sure.
I think we're probably going to see that. I mean, it just takes 1 mistake.
Oh, hell. She's got all her traps out, and I think they got the generators outside of the dead zone done. Definitely looks like it's going to be an uphill battle for the survivors on this one.
Very well could be. But they're doing a good job not tripping traps at the hook. I say that as they do that, but she did that really well. That was a really nicely played trap by Nia.
To be honest, you should trip the trap.
You think
you
so?
should bait Hag away from the dead zone, especially like in the basement when they both walked away. The healthy person should have stayed behind and popped the trap and initiated a chase. I'm telling you, it's like, in terms of competition, like things aren't happening in the way that a competitive team, in my mind, should be strategizing against the Hag, because Hag is one of the few characters that can perform very well when she's set up, just like Trapper. And the point of why not a lot of people use them in random games is because a lot of people don't let you set up. Because if you run into me, I will pop all your traps, because that's all I'll do. I won't even work on generators. I'll just stalk you around. You put a trap down, I'm just going to wait for you to walk 5 feet. I'm going to pop it myself. It's like popping pimples. It's very satisfying.
And right now, we see all 3 survivors injured, one of them on a hook, and I think I'm in agreement. I think what he was trying to say is what I'm in agreement with, is that they want to trip the trap after they get off the hook and run away from it and lead her out of the dead zone. And I think you're exactly right. I think what I was saying is that they were good at not tripping the trap on the way to the hook, but then they kind of just messed up there, unfortunately.
Yeah. It's been a little struggle for me to see, but I haven't seen how many gens in the dead zone were even completed. Do they have 2 away from dead zone? Oh, they do. Okay, perfect.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, no. They have a chance to get out, but Hag's already 1 hook ahead, and I'm pretty sure Hag's going to be able to secure at least 1 kill before the end. I think this team might come out just a little under.
It would surprise me if she wasn't able to capitalize on at least another hook, maybe even a confirmed kill, maybe even a 2K with 2-man escape. We'll see how she does, though. It's really going to depend on how they play this. And Nia, again, doing a good job with her sprint burst, I think, tripping a trap and getting away quickly.
Yep, just bait the Hag around, but knocked her back down. I think she's waiting out the decisive strike, which I believe it's been about a minute, so she could risk it. You could risk it, Grandma. Go for it.
Oh, please. Yeah, there she goes.
There she goes.
Does she have it? No, she doesn't have it. 1 gen remaining, though, folks. 15-26 current score. Still favoring Deity at the moment. It's still anybody's game.
If I had anything to say in this, it's to save Nia, but use her as the bait to save someone. Like, we shouldn't let Jake go down. Oh, no! Oh, if they don't save Nia, this is a problem.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. This is a problem. So they definitely will have to make a last-second save after they get the doors open. And we're going to the basement. Oh, no. Struggle, Jake. Want to go faster?
Oh,
he might, maybe? No.
No. Wait, no. If she had gone for the back hook, that would have probably been it, but yeah.
It's over. Unless they're all running Soul Guard, Borrowed Time, Decisive Strike, you're not getting out of this.
If they're smart, they're just going to leave. If they're smart. We'll see how they do.
Know,
she looks like she might want to go for it.
Even if he gets 4%, he's out.
Yeah, she's camping the basement entrance. Nice.
I mean, that puts Hag ahead. She's gotten a full kill, 2 hooks elsewhere. Like, compared to Blight, Hag, the defensive killer, did very well because nobody countered her defenses.
Right. And she got a hatch out. Nice, very nice. She knew exactly where the hatch was. That's what she was doing. She wasn't waiting to go out for the basement hook. She was just going to wait for the hatch. Very well played by Fang. And yeah, that's a 1 gate open, 1 hatch escape, 3-man escape in total.
Are you positive? Are you positive it was 1 gate, not 2 gates?
Now that you asked me that way, I'm not completely sure. Was it 2 gates or 1? Please. I'm pretty sure it was 1, but yeah, it was 1 gate. Yeah. Kieran says it was 1 gate, 1 hatch.
Wait a minute, why didn't they get the second gate?
Because it was right by the basement. That's why. Because she was camping that area. They couldn't go for it.
Camping the gate and
Yeah. Hex Ruin, Hex Haunted Ground, Corrupt Intervention, Pop Goes the Weasel, and we saw Rusty Shackles and Dried Cicada. Any thoughts? I'm sure you do have some thoughts.
Again, in terms of the Ruin, especially on Hag, makes no sense because Hag's not chasing anyone off the generator. So, again, no value on Ruin. Hex Haunted Ground, though, I definitely probably got value. Since he definitely got a down out of it. But running Hex Ruin or Hex Haunted Ground without them expecting it and thinking they were cleansing a Ruin totem, that might have been a really good bait. But again, it comes down to, like, in the end, when it comes full circle to that dead zone, they got the one generator done back there, so the Hag couldn't defend that area anymore. And they did good enough to get that. But I don't see where Ruin comes into play in this, because it requires you to get them off the generator to get value, else you could have ran any other perk in the game. Generator defense, Pop Goes the Weasel. Again, I don't believe I saw any Pop Goes the Weasel go on at all. So, like, did we get any value out of that? So
no.
Again, we can talk about, like, whether the build was good or not, but when you got, like, 0 value out of, like, most of your perks, maybe a better idea to swap for something that could help you better. But to be fair, Hag did beat Blight, so I'm not complaining here.
It's a good point, and we're going to do a little bit more review after the post-game review. We'll be right back after this. All right, folks, you're watching Week 4 matchups, Conference Rivals, Sampletex versus Deity. This was trial number 2. Here is your post-game review. You're watching Vigo's Court. Hope you're enjoying your day, folks. Well, first of all, I think the killer did a lot better than the other killer. Not a lot. A little bit better. But still, 5 gens got done. 3-man escape, very similar to the last game, with 5 hooks instead of, I think, the 3 from last time. And so a better performance, just a little bit. And the killer got 1 kill as well. 23-12 in favor of Sampletex in this trial. So they did pull it ahead a little bit, closing the gap, but Deity still leads, and it still shows Sampletex leading for this game. So that is what we saw in this one. Hopefully we can see some interesting highlight reviews. Take it away, gentlemen.
Oh, where to begin? So I'm wondering, because with that map and the way that it's set up, I'm curious if Hag might have been taking a gamble. Because what if the 3-gen spawned in that dead zone and your totem spawned in that dead zone? Can you imagine the pressure that the Hag could exert from that area with all those traps? If it was a 3-gen and you had a totem back there you could constantly defend?
She did have a totem. You could see, seconds ago, you could have seen it. I think that might have been the Haunted Ground. They cleansed it. I don't know where they cleansed it, but definitely if she had the Ruin and the 3-gen set up and all her traps there and they weren't coordinated enough to... Yeah, so you could definitely see that totem's there. Okay, that would be an almost unstoppable situation. Hag would have had the best value she could have, but I think out of all the perks that she had value from was Hex Haunted Ground giving her a free hook.
That's fair. Yeah, I was just curious because I have had an insanely nasty 3-gen back there with Hag before. I never take Ruin on Hag just because it's not my personal favorite. Like you said, I actually don't take any gen regression perks on Hag. What do you take on Hag?
Well, it's dependent. Monitor and Abuse is one of my favorites. But that's because it's not competitive and people don't expect Hag to come out of nowhere. Again, I play a totally different style here. I'm not for the generator regression. I'm for the chase. And I run Nurse's Calling, Sloppy Butcher, Save the Best for Last. And then, you can track people if they're trying to heal. And then if they don't heal, then you catch them off guard with your tiny Terror Race and the fact that you are like half the size of half the objects. And you just appear out of nowhere, slap someone down, and then you defend the generators. And you can actually do some really good regression on generators with Hag without regression perks, such as just tapping the generator and trapping it so that if they return to it. You get different kinds of value out of that. But again, Hag did do significantly better than Blight, and she's slower, which is a lot to say in terms of Blight likely made tons more mistakes along the way versus, Hag just slapping a survivor every time she came across one and then defending her territory, and that was where majority of her value came from.
No, for sure. Definitely more mental and methodical than Blight. That's the other thing, too, is that Blight might make more mistakes because you're having to make absolute split-second decisions every time you're using his ability, which is kind of difficult.
Yeah, so and that's brings me back to what I said about Blight in the beginning. You're taking a very high skill requirement for not as much reward as you could get on a much easier character.
True. That's very fair. You could get a lot more I guess reward out of playing Spirit, which is arguably less of a skill cap than Blight.
Absolutely.
Now, to be fair, I have seen some insane Blight play, just I don't see it very often. And usually it's not on these newer maps. It's on like Ormond or something where, scooting around the map is incredibly beneficial.
So Blight's best plays from the best players are likely going to come from, a setup that's they're not only familiar with, but also beneficial to Blight, such, going straight down to a hallway, for example, tight corridor. Some Blights can get around that, and that's pretty much guaranteed hits. But in an open map like this, I don't believe, especially with a dead zone, it's a dead zone, which means there's not much you can do to bump into. There's not much there to begin with, so I'm not sure what the Blight was going to do other than be the typical M1 killer.
Yeah. I agree. I'm also trying to break down, because like you said, we didn't see the survivors seem to go out of their way to break up her web during this, which is kind of surprising. Because like you said, as soon as you see someone get down, as soon as they get picked up, everyone runs like rabbits through the web and see how many traps you can pop.
Precisely.
And that didn't happen at all. She had, I don't think she had less than, besides, the beginning, I don't think she had less than 5 traps set down at any given time. She always had some semblance of a web.
Right, but they didn't even go into the web. That was an interesting part. They got a generator at the edge of the web, which didn't require them to pop most of her traps. Again, I talk about value a lot because this game is all about that time and how much you take from the survivors. And like, she set up a huge web of traps and only popped the ones on the edges and got a little bit of value out of it. Got enough for a couple of downs, but survivors were smart enough to get the edge generator and get out of that trap, and they did well. Even though I was expecting a little more trap breaking, I guess what they did was a lot safer, and it worked, and that's all that matters.
Right. I'm almost wondering if they might have mispositioned their web almost, or didn't calculate the 3-gen well. I'm not really sure. Because you're right, they did have kind of a 3-gen, but they lost it on the edge and weren't able to maintain anything after that.
If I was in there to see where the gens were exactly set up, I am not aware the certain, but there's that generator there that's kind of near her basement, which she had a couple of traps around but not as much as she did in the far back corner. And whether she defended that one more or less, she had one in the far back corner. She trapped it a bit more. The gallows was another one that required a bit more defense, which I think they got the gallows. I wish I could see that one.
I think they did, right. And then because there was one on the outskirts, like you said, that they got. So, and then they got the gallows one, because that, like you said, you can set a trap up there, but you usually have to end up walking around anyway. I guess it just wasn't the strongest 3-gen setup in that dead zone. Which, to be fair, you're not going to get it every game. It's a bit of RNG for the map setup, so you're not going to get that sweet 3-gen every time back there. But I have seen it to where you've got a gen in the corner, a gen on the outskirts on both sides, and there's a literal 4-gen back there, and it's just atrocious.
I'm curious to if taking the 3-gen in the town area would have been better, even though there's pallets there. Hag actually does very well mind gaming pallets with traps. So if they pop a trap, you're chasing someone near it. You've got am I going to be on the other side, or am I going to be on this side, or am I just going to get a free hit from you and you're going to drop the pallet? Whichever comes first.
True. Also, was someone running out of that shack when the hag reversed there? When they moonwalked back?
No idea.
Yeah, I just saw that clip. I was like, wait, was there a survivor that ran out of the shack? I think there was. That was really, really funky. I'm going to have to wait for that clip to come back around again, but I think there was, because they were chasing the Nia at the time, and the Nia, they came back around and they vaulted through the window, but I think there was someone that ran out of the shack at first, but they turned around. Sorry, it's funny the things that you miss while the game's going on because it's in the height of the moment, but you go back and rewatch the clips, it's like, wait, did this happen? What? I don't remember that.
There's always a lot of hidden fun going on.
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure. Also, that was Unbreakable, right? I didn't see another Survivor.
I didn't see another Survivor, but I have no idea if that was Unbreakable. It could have been, but not exactly sure. No, yeah, it is. I see it now. It was Unbreakable. She got back up, sprint burst away, and then instantly back down. Maybe should have waited. I don't know.
Maybe also they did run straight into an unsafe pallet.
It's a dead zone. It's the only pallet.
It's fair.
They got something out of it, and that's all you can really hope for.
True.
That or go closer to basement.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm really not surprised they didn't go back for them. Like, we see sometimes the team goes back, but there might have not been the right resources to make the necessary escape against that. Because
it would have had to have been a 3-man, borrowed time, all the works to get him out of that. It has one of the best defenses. Cannibal used to have the best. There was no saving someone from a basement. It was impossible. And I mean, it's a little more possible now. Still unlikely, but
yeah, Cannibal definitely has a strong basement play. Yeah, Cannibal has strong basement play. I've also seen that Clown kind of has a decent amount of basement play, just because if they actually go for the save, you block off that and you make that entire way slow. And if you have saved the best for last, you're just going to start churning through survivors as they run up the stairs.
Yep. You can also completely cancel the save animation with a bottle.
True. Just like Doctor, except less damage on your frame rate.
Pretty much.
Oh, man. We actually see Doctor quite a bit in some of these games because they'll take like impossible skill check builds and such and try and just make survivors absolutely hate their life.
In competitive? I need to see it. I can't, like, Doctor's definitely not one of the better characters. I mean, I get the whole impossible skill checks, but again, this is in the thought that the survivors are at a competitive level. I'm expecting survivors to be able to hit those skill checks. You should be practicing that. And then when he brings impossible skill check, it's like, well, you brought something that I can completely counter. It's one of the few killers you have the most say against. I mean, unless you've got the highest skill nurse, most of the time when that comes around, if she finds you, 2 blinks, you take your first hit, 2 blinks, you're down, good game. But that's if you get that far.
I will throw this caveat in. This was when I think every team was console-based, and console loses so many frames against Doctor in its current iteration because the PS4 and the Xbox One can't keep up with it.
Don't worry.
Yeah, PS5
can't even keep up with this game half the time.
Existential crisis engaged. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh man. What do we? Go ahead. Sorry.
So it's 2 out of 3, 2 rounds each.
Yeah, we're going. Deity is going to be on the killer again because we can see Q-Top is now coming in to play killer this time. So swapping out for Squid, and it looks like we have the same survivor group. I don't think they changed out anybody here, but yes. So we're going to have Deity kill again this game, and then for Trial 4, Sample Text will bring out their killer again against Deity's survivor team, and that will be the end of the trial unless there is a tie. And heaven help us if we ever have a tie. I don't actually know the protocol for that. I'm hoping Stam will intervene and be like, all right, here's how this is going to go. Though we have had some close games. I think the closest game we've had by far was decided by 5-point margin. It was a very tight game.
Are you asking me how a tie would be settled?
Yes.
Tie would go into 2 more games.
2 more! Come on, team! I love watching these games.
All right, we got a rules video coming up because we are going into the next game already.
All right, folks, we're looking at how the survivors side earns their points, and let's look at all their objective score points, counting down from 5 generators. 5 and 4 are worth 1 point each, 3 and 2 gens are worth 2 points each, and 1 is worth 3 points. 1 escape is worth 1 point, 2 escapes is worth 2 points, 3rd escape is worth 4 points, and the 4th escape a total of 5 points. Every 16,000 scored is worth 1 point. First to hatch also gets 1 point. Survivor penalties: bringing banned or limited items, perks, or add-ons is minus 10 points. Changing build after reset is also minus 10 points. And starting with the wrong skin or avatar or a non-listed roster player is minus 5 points as well. All right, folks, we're going to be looking at how the Survivor side earns this. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back with Week 4 matchup, Conference Rivals, Sample Text versus Deity. I'm Buggy, and I'm joined, of course, with the wonderful TydeTyme. And we're already in-game. Let's check it out. We got a Spirit. Weren't you just talking about Spirit?
We got Spirit! Ah, I'm so excited. I want this Spirit to wreck house.
I think
she's
got
the add-ons. She's got it all ready to go.
Yeah, probably. I mean, Spirit doesn't even need add-ons to be good, but I mean, obviously you're going to bring them. And we see her Corrupt Intervention early. Corrupt Intervention should be paired with, I don't know, maybe some more Gen Regression or something. What do you think about that?
Well, the point of the Corrupt Intervention, if I'm not mistaken, and everyone can correct me if I'm wrong, but it's to help lessen the field of having to search for people and starting earlier chases. Because all it does is it guarantees a 3-gen setup at the furthest distance from your starting point. Other than that, it also forces survivors to be in a more confined area if they're trying to rush your generators, or they can do a very, very awkward play of just hide out for 2 minutes. Not very fun to happen, but it's happened before.
No. And it's worth noting, by the way, we see a Haunted Ground popping because we see the stars are exposed after popping that totem, and they're just hiding it out. However, Claudette does get spotted and does get down. That scared me a little bit inside. I almost died inside a little bit.
So again, it comes into the play. I mean, like if you're popping a totem, and let's say she's running Ruin, and she is running Ruin. It's kind of a risk. Like again, is Spirit going to chase you off the generator, and how much value you're actually going to give her off of that? And by popping totems, you're opening yourself up for the opportunity for them to gain the benefit of Haunted Ground. And especially if you saw it last game, I'm sure someone was going to be all cheeky and bring it this game too.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. And of course, I'm pretty sure they've been listening to you, honestly. If I'm not mistaken, they're like, you know what? That's not a bad idea. Please. I'm already on it, Sam. You don't have to tell me. I got it. I'm sorry about that. That's my fault.
No worries, friends. We're doing good. We got this. And
there's the DS already.
Subscribe.
I mean, get it out of the way early, I guess. You know,
tunnel or no tunneling.
I mean, that was actually tunneling, so it works out.
Yeah. Oh, but going for this. She missed the swing. All right, so Spirit's gonna have a bit of a long loop here. She's gonna have to make it up. Wait till her power comes back. Does it not show the recharge on her power? Run, Jake! How many
Jake must use sprint burst
still on the map? And he got away with that real good. Oh,
just now popping their first generator. Yeah.
Now, a bit of a trick is you don't want to like try to, unless you've got urban immersion or fixated. You don't necessarily want to crouch. You want to kind of go back on yourself and stay within your scratch mark, so you make the Spirit guess where you actually are. And that's Jake going down from a side hit, not able to get a fast vault on an unsafe window.
Yeah, that loop isn't particularly safe if the killer's that close to you. Definitely gonna get a
Did
slow
Spirit
vault.
forget her wig?
Yeah, she did. Yeah, that's normal. We see that a lot.
2 hooks already, only 1 generator done. Did the Claudette never heal? Ooh, dangerous against the Spirit is one of Spirit's best tools. Is the fact that after you're injured, tracking you with sound is the easiest thing to do, and it makes Spirit so accessible to everybody. So if you're not healing, getting out of that danger, putting yourself in a little bit of trouble there.
Yeah, and this Spirit just has tons of pressure right now. Already getting it down. They just got the unhook. She's not going for the immediate hook. She's slugging.
Why is Fang getting off the generator? Why did Fang get off the generator when there's Ruin? Oh my goodness. No, don't do that. That bad Fang. Get. But we have Claudette with the Unbreakable. Yeah.
She went back.
I'm confused. I get that there was a possibility that Spirit was maybe going to pop up there, but man, you've got all your allies doing all the bait, all the work. Oh, baiting out the window hop? No.
Oh, that kind of worked.
It
Yeah.
works all the time against me, I'll tell you that. You just take the risk whether she's tricking you.
It can be risky for sure, but I mean, it definitely worked in her favor that time, and Claudette messed up, so it worked out. Very nice. And Fang almost done with her generator. That'll be 3 generators remaining after that one's popped. With now 2 hooks on Claudette, bringing her to a dangerous position of being dead on hook if she gets hooked again. With no DS,
Jake
too.
going for... Oh, no. No borrowed time, no cheeky plays here. Taking that hit, you've got...
It got called out, Nia.
Bad positioning here. Jake getting called out, so Spirit's able to keep 3 people occupied while no one's working on generators. This is probably the worst situation they could be in. Caught in the open, 2 of them injured, 1 on the hook, death on hook when they get off. Spirit's probably... This is a win for the Spirit in the long run. They
She's in a very good position, yeah. This is a very strong position for her.
Oh, man, everyone just get caught out in the open. No, don't! Let go of the gens! It's ruined!
Oh, no, there are 2 of them over here. Fang vaulted without even looking and jumped right in front of her, so she could have actually gotten a hit too, but Nia was already there. Unfortunate.
That was
and
a
now
good
Fang going back the
juke
other
by
way.
Fang.
That was very nice.
Stuck around the box, trying to game that she went around.
And I think that'll be first hook
These
for Kieran
players-
as well.
These players are going to either have to set 2 people on a generator and bait the Spirit out with someone pretending like they're going to save, because that survivor's got 2 minutes on that hook. So you've got enough time to spread your team and get generators done. It's probably the biggest thing right now is generators must get done if you want to get out.
Agreed, and with 3 generators remaining and all this pressure from this killer, it may be impossible for them to wrap this up. We maybe see Certified Persona. I'm sorry, Certified Persona. Q-Top, I think it was. Was that who's killing? I forgot. Yeah, Q-Top.
I think Q-Top was coming.
Q-Top may be the one taking out a nice fat W with potentially 11, 10 hooks, something like that. We'll see.
Ooh, trying to get a generator too. Oh, she's got the 3-gen trifecta, and she's got Claudette in it.
They're in a corner too.
Oh
boy. Nia going down again.
Ooh, was that was for the people? Nia giving her life for Claudette, allowing them to swap out. But one thing they're going to have to focus on is getting one of those generators done. And Spirit's distracted by Jake, so hopefully they got to get the generator done over helping their ally on the ground.
Agreed.
Have to.
Absolutely agreed. And Jake is currently, I think, still being chased, maybe. Maybe.
No.
Yeah. Oh, and she did that beautifully.
Wait, did the survivors get off the generator? No, one went to go
They're
save
still
while
on
the
it.
other one held the generator from ruin. That was a smart play. But they need to get that generator done. 2 people on the generator puts it down to about 44 seconds. I believe at 3 people, it's like 28 seconds. I'd have to review that information again, but that should be the amount of time it should take a generator with 2 and 3 people. That's... Oh, is Fang going? No dangerous plays. Jake doesn't have the life to sacrifice right now.
I mean, the
And
killer
Spirit
currently has
knows it.
5 hooks, and there's 2 gens remaining. It's a really tight game right now. It's anybody's game. It depends on if they continue making these mistakes or if they reset and are able to recover. We'll see how they play it, but Spirit is doing a really good job holding down this pressure at the moment.
Doing great. Survivor's making
Possibly.
tons of mistakes. Fang needs to actually step up and risk her life. Granted, she'll give a few hooks, but she's hasn't been hooked yet, and Jake's about to die. That's going to be the first death of the team.
Confirmed kill. She is camping it to death, which is not a bad play at all in this situation, I think.
All right, Jake down. Spirit spent time camping. Hopefully the survivors got value out of that. Every second the Spirit was there was a second on a gen. Oh,
Should have been. But this gen's barely touched at all, of course. It's the one that was closest. However, this one's at almost 50%. She's healing up right now, and Nia's kind of not doing a whole lot. I guess gonna tap the gen back to life, but Spirit sees you there, I'm pretty sure. And yeah, she's gonna go right back up.
Coming right back. So all three of them should be on separate generators, and one needs to instigate a chase. Fang instigating the chase, keeping the spirit away from Nia. The spirit's not interested. She's interested in defending that one generator. So Nia should leave the generator. And didn't realize she wasn't caught. Could have taken the window, but she's put herself into a vulnerable position. There's nowhere to vault here, no pallets.
Yep.
She's going to take a hit.
Uh-oh.
And did Fang just run by? Oh, no.
She did. I think she
was
took some bait. And used the lithe to get away, too. Very nice play. I think that distracted her.
Either lithe or balance landing. It had to be balance landing because she fell off a high area.
Balance landing. Sorry. I got it mixed up. Yeah. My fault. I often get those two mixed up.
What's Nia doing now? Time is everything. Nia getting caught out, just being immersed, enjoying the inner sides of the saloon. Gonna have to find a way around. Spirit
hoping to get herself a drink.
Two generators still remain. Where was the second generator that Claudette was working on? She had it like 50%.
I know, and I don't know where it is now. They've kind of given up on that, I think, and are going down heavily right now.
Is Ruin still up? They never got Ruin.
No, Ruin's not up anymore. No, Ruin's down.
It's not. They did get it. Okay,
yeah.
I was about to like cry for them.
Hey, and Cursed T joining the jury. Thank you so much. This league is going to be huge. Thank you so much for the joining the jury. I appreciate that.
Oh no! Now you've got. I believe that is Claudette being chased. Fang needs to get that save immediately.
Yeah,
and they
Claudette's
need to
on death
get
hook.
The generators done.
They definitely have to be careful.
The amount of spread work they're doing is not enough to take advantage of Spirit's lower movement speed.
And Spirit kind of messed up there. She went up the stairs, but Claudette went into the jungle gym.
Oh boy. So they have a chance, but she's still got a 3-gen setup. They're going to need to get the one on top of the saloon and the one furthest away from the saloon. That's their best bet. But if they don't get that done, it's going to be a long game.
This could be it for Claudette. It's just one little mistake.
Going up to
she's not vaulting it right
window.
Away. Yep.
She's gonna face. She's gonna face through, and then she's gonna listen to the. There it is.
Oh.
Not only was she gonna phase up there, but she was able to track her based on the grunts and pains. You needed to take the leap of faith, taking that dead end to what you know is a bad window. Fortunate, but during that time, Claudette, don't tap, get it done. What are you doing?
I think, as silly as that was, I think they were trying to avoid the grab. Exactly, avoid the grab. It was a bit silly. They should have just finished it, and if they got grabbed, they got grabbed. But I kind of get it.
Well, let's see how this plays out. She's playing the pallet game. This is where Spirit's going to take a lot of value because she's just standing there baiting you to think she's phasing and then just going to walk around and hit you. It's not the safest pallet. Get that sprint burst out. Hopefully the Spirit misses. We got to pray that Fang...
Oh, wow.
Ton. Oh, no. Now, she has a choice. Fang either gets grabbed, crawls away, unbreakables. Oh, this is a tight game. Someone could still get out. Trying to find out which door she went to. This is very possible. This match is close. And especially with that unbreakable.
Well. Yep.
Oh no, you're getting caught. Still exhausted. Now Fangman gonna get caught out. Fangman needs to get off that door. Should be communicating. Spirits on your way.
Oh
run.
No.
And that's it, ladies and gentlemen.
Too little, too late. And she dies here. That's GG. Darn. They were so close to maybe getting it out. At least one out.
Hold on, there is a 4% chance here. There is a 4% chance.
That's true. She has not been hooked yet.
She hasn't been hooked. So, was this the play? Does she have deliverance? Let's
find out. Yeah. Does she? Maybe.
Deliverance, activate.
Could it be?
No. She's waiting. Here it comes.
And a deliverance play.
Wow. She's running out it was the bait the whole time. They prepped
Beautiful.
for Fang to have it. That spirit's coming back, sweetheart. You don't want to be there. You can see the crows just flew away. She's right there. You're dead. You're dead.
Oh no.
You're dead.
Is she done?
She's dead. There's nothing else she could do. She's already used Unbreakable.
That was an unfortunate waste of such a great play at the end. That was a great rescue of herself.
Like in the play right there, it should have been 4% off. Go save Nia. It was obvious Spirit wasn't going to let that door open. That is the most obvious play.
Right.
And then again, you could see the crows fly away at the distance. She was focused on it. That means you know Spirit's there. It's just part of that mentality of knowing how to play against this killer. And if you knew that those crows flew up, crouch away or something, or just start running. You're dead one way or the other.
I know you guys can't see this because it's blocked. She had a 1 second DS, and if she had picked her up 1 second sooner, she would have been able to DS her.
Are you kidding me?
No.
So then it would have made a lot more sense to go straight to Nia, because even if the killer didn't go to the door, you could have gone to Nia.
Yeah.
And then there was a chance you got Nia up, you got downed, and then maybe some value. Or maybe Nia could have gotten away. There was a lot better decisions that could have been made there. But you know what?
So close.
Props to Spirit. She made it work. Spirit made
both
all the
teams,
right.
though, they did really well. 5 gens got done, so I can't hate on it too much. They still did pretty well on that survivor side, just missing out on the escape points, which is a lot, to be fair. But yeah, Deity coming out with a strong lead on this one. With the build, we have Hex Ruin, Corrupt Intervention, Haunted Ground, and Pop Goes the Weasel. I'll let you continue now. Sorry.
Well, like look at Dragon Wrath's points, right? 10,000. That's like nothing. You did generators and that's it. No bait, no altruism. There's no value there that you provided other than being the gen jockey, which everyone else was sacrificed to do all these other things. Now, for that 4% play, that was hype. I was hyped to see it happen until, well, actually, the Deliverance person is a person who at the top. So then what the hell who's Dragon's Wrath? Which character? Is that Jake? Don't tell me that's Jake.
I think, let me check here. No, I can't. Damn it. I think that was Jake.
Dragon's Wrath is Jake. Yes.
That was Jake? I thought that was Fang. Fang, props to you. That was
good. That was a good play.
But like that is a indicator of something going wrong in the team. Though blood points are not a form of skill, but it is a form of letting you know what you've done. 8,000 points at most for generators, and then 2,000 wear. Not survival, maybe some healing, but no chase. So your chases weren't lasting long enough. You didn't stun the killer. You didn't extend these chases longer than they should have been. Against the Spirit, it's hard, granted, but I'm in competitive play here. I expect you to fight a Spirit and a Nurse.
Yeah. Well, folks, we're going to do another post-game review real quick, and we'll be right back for trial number 4 and some highlights. So stay tuned. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, you've been watching Week 4 matchup conference rivals, Sample Tech's first Deity. We're having a great stream today. We got some amazing people here, some amazing people watching, some amazing people commentating. We appreciate it. And here's trial number 3, post-game review. Here's what you just witnessed. 5 generators getting done by the team. Really well played overall, but unfortunately, 0 escapes. So a lot of mistakes did end up costing them the escape points they could have gotten. 10-hook game, which I kind of called it about halfway through, yeah, and I think you expected it too. And of course, 4 kills, 13-27, Deity taking the lead in trial number 3, and Deity leading going into trial number 4. A very strong lead for this team. I don't know if they can come back from it. Sample Tech's may be lost cause at this point for trial 4. They're going to be killing next, and Deity will be surviving last as well. So here are the highlights coming up.
It's definitely worth mentioning that the survivors going into Trial 4 have the greatest ability to do the comeback rather than the killers. This is, you're right, it is going to be a struggle for Sample Tech to bring a killer to this. Now, they're not out of the game entirely. That is a 17-point difference. You can definitely make that comeback. However, Deity is no pushover when it comes to their survivor squad. So, I don't think Sample Tech is out of it yet, but they're going to have to... They're going to have to pull out some amazing play. If they're going to do this, I don't expect to see anything less than a Spirit Freddy or Nurse here. My personal opinion. What do you think? What do you think, Tide?
I should see a nurse. I haven't seen a nurse yet. Has no one played the most powerful killer in a competitive scene?
Well, it's worth it to note that they can only use a killer 3 times throughout the entire season. So,
Jeez. Well, all right. So then if I were to only use 3 killers, on this saloon map, I would use an M1 killer. I wouldn't have even used Spirit. Because this is a very dead zone oriented map, and the powers you have here, though Spirit's good. Spirit's great. You're going to need Spirit for a much later game. Especially if the map's going to change, unless you're going to get the saloon later. Spirit's really good. She should be your trump card, especially like Nurse, especially Hillbilly, so they can only have 3 killers, and they're running all that. Realistically, in this game, the survivors got pressured, and it's kind of like one of the situations where they allowed themselves to be. It was too many mistakes, and it could be the nerfs, it could be the strategy. And like I said, the blood points at the end when one person is dedicated to doing one thing, and they only did that one thing, you need everybody to at least be able to build a chaser. Because again, it's the value of being chased for 45 seconds helps you get those generators set up, but nobody could. Going into Haunted Ground knocked Claudette down instantly and started that snowball. Maybe teams need to take a step back, look at their hex totems and go, is cleansing this really worth it right now? Is someone being chased? Is the killer near someone? If we end up popping this, is someone going to go down to Haunted Ground? Because we've seen 2 games so far where Haunted Ground got the value it was meant to. It was a trick totem. It got someone down almost instantly, and most of that could have been negated from just, hey, anyone close to being chased and popping a totem could be Haunted Ground. You should always expect these types of things to come in.
I agree, and one thing that I was surprised, this is kind of a criticism for the Survivor team, because this is their home map. Ruin stayed up a lot longer this game than I would have expected for a team on their home map. Usually a home map team will know where all their totem spawns are and will go check for Ruin. And Ruin was up like half of the game. Spirit got a ton of value out of Ruin, I would feel like.
Absolutely. Because the Survivors were just letting go of the generators. Like when the Fang was on the gallows. I mean, granted, she heard the whooshing. The killer doesn't always know you're on the gen unless you made the mistake. It's not like she's going... I haven't seen anyone run the tracking perks for it. They only run the regression perks. And so I haven't seen surveillance. And to get off the generator and let Ruin start and to be chased off constantly in a situation like this and always be injured. And there's just a lot of situations I don't think they were prepped for. And Ruin got more value than it ever should have, but it got value. Mm-hmm. So in this match, against Spirit, it worked well, especially with the 3-gen setup.
Sure, and it's worth mentioning, like you said, you don't get off that gen inherently because they don't know. Well, okay, actually with Ruin, they do kind of know because they can see that there's no sparks off of it. But if they see that they see the moment you leave the gen because the sparks fly all of a sudden, so...
Right.
Yeah. My personal favorite build until they nerfed Undying was Undying Ruin Surveillance on Spirit because of just how much information you could get out of it, but...
Right, and that had some value, especially in randoms. But in a competitive thing, especially with comms, I should be hearing 3 people on gens, 1 instigating a chase of some sort. And that chase has to last more than 45 seconds, which none of these did, because they did the one thing Spirit is bad at, but they fed into it. She's bad at initiating chase. She's amazing at closing it. She's a slower character, and she has to get the first hit to guarantee that spirit dash into the second. And as you saw Jake do, he ran and then crouched in spot. And so Spirit saw the scratch mark stop, came out, and he's just right there. You have to be able to play it a little bit, and you've got to take a gamble. Run back on yourself, try to get her to think you crouched, but none of it paid off. And then, of course, he got camped. And then what was the value they got out of him being camped? Every second the Spirit is camping someone is a second that needs to be on a generator. When asked in a casual realm of like, oh, camping's terrible. No, camping is not terrible. It's fantastic because then you get free generators. So that's exactly what needs to happen in comp. If they're going to secure a kill, you need to secure an escape. So gens for death. It's a fair trade that has to be made if you're going to lose that person.
Well, so it's different too in comp because you don't always see them camp, but if they do, it's because you hooked them in your 3-gen. You have no reason to leave them. all your objectives in one area. You've got gens surrounding you, so you're gonna go sit on the gen. Okay, I'll go chase you off a bit. Oh, you're gonna go for the unhook? Nah, I have no reason to leave. Sorry.
That's
but
true.
Yeah,
Jake was in a 3-gen, but here's the thing: even though he was in 3-gen, they had a safe gen, which was the saloon. The saloon takes a long time to get up to, so it's technically safe to take out. And so it should have been a focus, but I think they got a different one. I don't remember if they got Saloon. Fang got it. Fang was doing the weird tap because she didn't want to get grabbed. Again, to me, that slowed the generator down, let the spirit catch up. Too much fear into how fast the spirit was going. One thing players can do is try to play spirit with the fastest add-ons through travel and see how long, and try to, decipher how long would it take a spirit to get up here from wherever the hell she's at, and I should know where she's at based on whichever of my allies being chased.
True, and it might have been an issue too, is they might have had trouble switching over, because they might have been, okay, we're going to try and go for the save, and then maybe they called it too late. Oh, she's just going to camp into death. We should have been on gens. They might have just lagged in making that decision as a team too, because at the end they were getting to gens. They didn't try to save nearly as much at the last bit, but like I said, you wasted so many seconds. You could have been on gens.
Right. It was one of those moments of the mistake was that they sacrificed too much time, and every second they should have been on a gen was too late, and everything was just, in the end, too late for them. But that 4% play was really cool.
That was pretty great.
Deliverance is great.
And that was almost play of the game. Like you said, they should have known that they were coming for, because you saw them drop the survivor, you saw the crow fly away. Probably should have ran or not done that, but maybe they thought they had time. I don't know.
I don't know. If you were scared of tapping that gen like you were up here, and then suddenly you're on the door, the decisions there, I would chalk it up to nerves. Oh my gosh, I didn't even notice she went down on the generator and got adrenaline. Gross.
Adrenaline is such a great perk. I love that one.
But if you think about it, that actually played against them in this, because someone else went down, and she could have made a Deliverance play a little early and played distraction for the team for just a short bit.
I agree. The fact that you had someone at the end of the game that had not taken a hook or any aggression, for someone being death hook, is a mistake. You should be spreading out the pressure as much as possible, not letting him get that death hook that early. So that probably was pretty bad for them. Definitely at some point should have taken a hit.
Spirit capitalized well, and in the end, she took that W pretty good.
Yeah, for sure. Oh goodness, yeah. And again, to be fair, Spirit is a tough killer to go against. There's you do have mind games, but the mind games are tough. It's you're rolling a die to see if you can actually get them.
It's always a gamble.
Always a gamble, yeah.
But that's where you try to set up so that you don't have to gamble nearly as much. You don't want to take an initial hit from Spirit. Everyone was taking early initial hits, and that set her up for the I'm going to find you via your cries of pain. And happened every single time. And then people getting caught out while still injured. Spirit is one of those killers you don't want to be injured around, because it's really easy to just track you. It's not even a gamble for her anymore at that point. But here's that Deliverance. She's running. She's got Decisive Strike. I guess the reason she stayed on it was because Decisive Strike.
Oh, she had gotten the grab. Yeah.
But then why not let her grab? Wait a minute. You messed that up.
Well, the thing is that most of the time with Spirit, you're going to be lunging at the door. I think they knew not to grab there. I don't know.
Again, yeah, but that plays like it's back and forth ping pong right there. It's like, I'm on the door. If she's going to lunge it, I should let go 360, grab the door, and finish it, right? Like, if that's the play you're going for. The play doesn't make sense unless she was going for letting her grab, because she just ran off when she got there, and it was like, why? I guess maybe it was, I don't know. Yeah, I wish I knew.
Heat of the moment. Also, you're that's a very good point too, is that a lot of really good teams play it safe, and if you're anywhere near them, they're already, 20 meters off in the distance running from you most of the time. So these survivors were They were risky. They played it very risky. Like you said, getting those early hits all the time. They didn't play it very safe.
Look at Jake's build really fast here. I believe that one with the hand stick, I forgot what it's called.
Repressed Alliance.
Repressed Alliance. That one allows you to secure generator so it doesn't, but it still regresses, doesn't it? Ruin can still regress it.
Oh, I had at one point I knew this. I don't think Ruin regresses during Repressed Alliance. I could be wrong. You know what? I'm sure chat can probably correct me on that one.
Yeah, chat. That's the one combo I totally forgot whether it. Because I think I seen a generator regressing with the Alliance on it, but I don't remember. But if it doesn't, then that would be the best counterplay to Ruin. And why are you trying to? Why are you trying to break Ruin over? You brought a perk to protect a generator. Why?
I will say, I expect to see less Ruin Undying now, so Ruin is going to be less of a thing just in general. And Pop will be the go-to gen regression perk when they use it. And Pop is completely dead against Repressed Alliance. It is so... I've played a bunch of games with Pop instead of Ruin now, and I see Repressed Alliance all the time, and I'm like, Pop's useless. I can't get any Pop value. They keep blocking the gen. Who gave you permission to make deals with the entity? This is my job. I'm the killer, not you.
Yeah, Pop Goes the Weasel really faded out of at least casual meta. Just back when it was too situational to run into a generator that would give you enough regression value. Like sometimes you were next to the 99% gen, and sometimes you were able to kick it. Sometimes, but other times, like you come across gen, it's like, oh, they like tapped it. Oh, that sucks,
dude. I like tangent. I hate gen tapping. I think if it takes me 2 seconds to kick a gen down to where it's regressing, I think you should at least hold on to it for 1 second to stop it.
Okay, so people are saying that Ruin doesn't regress the repressed. So that's a good way to say it. So then, yeah, you brought a perk to stop Ruin. So if you get knocked off a gen, you block it off, and then you have no fear of Ruin. So I still kind of am questioning why the decision to break Ruin is a thing. And if you're going with that decision, why are you bringing the progression? Is it for Pop? But like, I guess so far I haven't seen in these games, I haven't seen the use of Pop. I haven't seen that value come through. This is the first game where we saw some Ruin come through, but again, it wasn't like the Survivor was chased off. They're just letting go.
Yeah, for sure. I will say, when we go to the cross-examination, we often ask them what happened during the game in these specific moments, and we get some insight as to like how it fell apart the way it did. But also, a lot of these teams will take these moments and they will learn from them and get better, because it's trial by fire, right?
Yeah. But I expect a lot of these things that I can call out to be like there already. It's just my expectation. I've seen the best players play. I've seen the D-Pip squad. I played alongside them. I know what it's like to just play through this game. And people can tell me this game has changed over the years. It hasn't. You want to finish the game in 3 minutes. Survivors can finish the game in 3 minutes against the world's best nurse with the range add-ons. Not even a nurse has the time to stop you.
All right. That's very true. I will give you that. I would say if the game has changed, it's come strides to make it less obvious how one-sided it is at the top level. It's gotten a little bit better. At least you don't vacuum pallet into stuff. But yeah, it's definitely an uphill battle for killers for sure. And again, that's why leagues have rules, tournaments have rules to try and balance a game that you could argue is impossible to balance. I don't know. I can't imagine how you balance an asymmetrical horror game. Do you have any thoughts? Do you have any thoughts about how to balance it?
Yeah, actually.
Hit me.
The balance isn't about power. It's about the equal opportunity to win. So when you look at a game that has one person on one team and 4 people on the other team, the devs are like 2 get out and 2 die. That sounds fair. Okay, if that's the case, then a victory for the killer needs to be that if the killer gets 2, he wins. Period. And so if you want to make this into a competitive thing and with those rules, then that's fine. So you give killer points based on how many kills he gets, and you give the survivor team points, and you do what you're doing here. It's you got 2 teams going against each other, and the ones with the most points wins. And so as long as each one has equal opportunity, then you're good. So for example, at the highest level of play, you should see a multitude of killers, several different perks being used, but you don't. This would be the first tournament I've seen where, of course, Blight was out back in the day, but old tournaments, especially for PC, where if you gave people free reign, it was always Nurse. There was no question to it, because Nurse was objectively the strongest power in the game. It's just the hardest to use. So, like people like Marth who come in, they will tear you a new one. But now, you hear the rule that you can use only 3 killers throughout the entire, and then it's like, okay, we got to save Nurse. But then, depending on how many games you got to go, you've got to spread out your top tiers, and you got to avoid using the bottom tiers. Unless you're trying to feel out your opponent, trick them out with something special. I don't know.
We did see a basement trapper once get a 3K, if I remember correctly, because of something that they were doing. That was pretty fun. But
now iridescents weren't allowed, right? Iridescents aren't allowed, correct?
Correct.
Then we have okay, so if iridescents aren't allowed, then Trapper. I kind of want to see iridescent Stone Trapper come into play.
I want to at some point too. I love Trapper. Trapper has a special place in my heart as a killer. It's so much fun, but there's no way it's consistently competitive.
It's just like Hag. It can be consistently competitive if you set up, and unlike the Hag's traps, his are lethal. Yep. His pretty much gives you kills versus the Hag who it just allows her to appear and apply pressure. But of course, thankfully they gave Trapper the quality of life that his traps cannot be permanently destroyed anymore. That back then, that Trapper was not viable at all. Everybody brings Saboteur. I don't know if anyone remembers that old meta of like hooks permanently destroyed, traps permanently destroyed, but poor little Trapper never set traps because he didn't want to lose them.
Yup. And it looks like, are we loading in? All right, so we got one final rules variant to load, and we got our last trial to go. Is that correct? Roll the rules video.
Hello everyone, we're going to be going over these rules and explaining how they work. So, 2 teams will go head-to-head, playing each role twice for a total of 4 trials. In play order is home team kills, survives, and then kills. In addition, teams get points in the trial for objectives, escapes, and hooks. And teams can't bring or use keys, iridescents, event items, or add-ons. Survivors can only bring 2 of a perk or item. Survivors can only bring yellow and brown items, and BP bonuses are awarded post-trial. Broken rules may result in penalties or restarts. Ladies and gentlemen, we're back, and we got a Bubba.
I love
quick Bubba, too. Me love Bubba, too. I play a lot of Bubba myself.
So if I'm not mistaken with that setup, he's got the extremely long extended chainsaw. And here's our first down for the day. Wasting that sprint burst. Here he comes. Pallet not in the way. First down instantly. Look at that value. Instant down. Right off the bat. Are we like even a minute into this game? We've already got first hook. Oh, running the mad grit. Is it Iron Grasp Agitation Mad Grit?
I think it is.
Save the best for last, maybe?
I can't tell you. I mean, I can see it, but I can't tell you.
Oh, if he's got that build, I love it because I run it. Not on Bubba, but I do it on Trapper.
Bubba's a loud boy,
there
too.
You go. Oh, yes, he's very loud. And not only that, but he's able to use chainsaw to break these walls. He's got amazing. If he can hold those 3 gens in the dead zone, he's one of the most lethal characters because it's nigh impossible to dodge that chainsaw once he gets close enough. Oh, don't go down around the basement. Risking it. Going through. Can Bubba navigate the rock? He can, but gets stunned. Ladies and gentlemen, Nia playing the game, and they made the save. Let's see if he can catch up. Oh, no, Pallet's caught in the dead zone. Gonna have to try to loop around the rock, but if this Bubba plays it right, second down. Going for that second hook. Just 1 gen in. Now, let's see how fast these generators rush him. the mad grit and showing it off. I'm not sure. What? Oh. Oh wait, what?
I don't know. I don't know what just happened.
Did he just destroy all of reality?
By the way, folks, I'm really sorry. We're having some audio issues, and I don't really know what's causing it. It's coming from Discord, and while we're actually, while we're at it, I'm going to go ahead and restart Discord really quick since we're having this issue. So let me just me in the audience for a moment. I'm going to see if I can fix this. I'll be right back. While they do, I don't know what's going on. Certified Persona got kicked, and Sam will probably update me in a second. I'm sorry about this, guys. Hold tight, please.
Do what you gotta do.
Hold on to your seats. Where is Discord, though? Why won't it close? Yeah, Discord is not actually doing anything I ask it to do right now. Okay, we are restarting Discord. We're getting back into the game, I think. I don't know what's just happened there. I don't really know what happened to the team or where they went. I think Certified Persona disconnected or something. We're going to have to look into it, and when we get back in, we're going to take a look to see what is going on. I'm going to jump in now, and Sam will update us. Hey.
How long do we have till we're back up?
Right now, we're back up. Right now.
Darn.
I know. I'm sorry. But I'm still having audio issues, so I don't know what to do about that. Anyway, it is what it is, I guess.
Yep, just roll with punches.
I hate it, though. I hate rolling with punches. I just want them to stop punching me.
So apparently Steam crashed.
Steam crashed?
That's what I saw someone post. So if that's the case.
Yeah, but it happened for the US like 20 minutes ago. And now it just happened for the UK, and it just like cycles for a second or something. I don't know. It's very frustrating. Never had this issue before.
The audio issues too are driving me nuts. I don't know what my computer's doing. We're having all kinds of problems right now. This is what I was afraid of.
It's okay. Things like this happen.
Be right back one more time. Ladies and gentlemen, it's basically just you, me, and Dupree for the moment. Let me see if we can fix this. And I'm glad you guys are being patient with us. Appreciate it. As we try to sort through this nonsense. Actually, you know what? I'm going to quit the game. Just to spite everyone. Just to see if that fixes it. Audio check?
Yeah.
Maybe? No. Wow, it still sounds awful. All right, hang on.
Hold on. I will need to take a short bio break. I'll be right back.
Heard.
All right. I think we're back. Sam, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, good. I fixed it. I'm such a genius.
I'm here too. Thanks for asking, Poggy.
No one cares about you. Right. We're sitting on a blank screen right now. I'm going to go to some of the clips that we had going, at least to keep it going. My Steam hasn't crashed, by the way, but I'm in the Philippines, so I guess that would be why. And hopefully we can get this game back going soon. Sam, what do you think's going on there? Are they going to be able to get back in, or we're going to have to call it today?
They're going to keep us updated. No. This happened already once with the US scene, so I imagine, and it only took a couple minutes. That's why we were so long between lobbies last time.
Okay.
So, should be up and going again in a couple minutes.
Well, I'm up and going again. I think everything has been resolved. You missed me, guys? Aw, thank you. You guys are so nice. And little Rukart's gifting tier subs while we're sitting here. Awesome. Thank you, Ru. Appreciate it. He gifted how many? 5 tier 1 subs? Welcome to the jury, Black Poet EXE. Give food nows. It's Stealth Live, just Snail, and Kakaapi. Welcome. Welcome to the jury, folks. Appreciate it.
Oh, that is unfortunate. Oof.
What's that? What's happening?
Oh, no. I was reading chat.
Oh.
Because, yeah. Just
Guys,
a bummer.
I didn't go anywhere.
He's still here.
Yeah, I'm just not talking whenever they're talking. That's all. I'm letting them do their thing, you know? And right now, Tyde's taking a little break. I'm not feeling 100%, guys. Just so you know. Just so the audience knows. If I die on cam, it's because they're taking too long to let me go to a doctor. So...
I love how both the servers and the hosts here are not feeling it today.
Yeah, it's funny. No, we actually were doing really well right up until that point, and things kind of went, you know, hit the fan. Unfortunately, this is what it is.
I will say, so we talked about this in previous streams with the new updates and everything. I just checked Dead by Daylight's Twitter, and they had a tweet about 3 hours ago that said, "We have heard you loud and clear. Our team is working to find some solutions to the feedback on the latest update. We are focusing on fixing bugs, issues with hitboxes, and we're reviewing some elements of the changes to the HUD." So, incoming fix, incoming changes.
Better be quick.
You right.
Well, a lot of people, including this team here, have been talking about revert DBD movement. Apparently, is a hashtag going around. Hashtag revert DBD movement. I don't know if they can even do that. Scott Jund had a really funny video, or a really good video actually, and there was a really funny comment on it. And his video was basically saying that, you know, no competent game developer in the world would ever just delete old patches. And somebody in the chat said, "Is that a challenge?" You know?
Ooh.
I don't think behavior does that, but it was really funny. I see some of the team members coming back online though, so they should be back in a minute.
Because of how the game is developed in blueprints, I understand the argument of changing one element back out of the game isn't as easy as just undoing the change itself. Because every change they do hits it's the butterfly effect with their code because of blueprinting. So I get that. But that doesn't mean you can't start working to revert it.
Right.
What about who? What happened?
I heard a click. That must be
Twitter.
Time.
Yeah.
Me?
We were talking about Dead by Daylight tweeted about 3 hours ago saying that essentially they've heard the feedback from the community and they're looking into changing and reverting some things as well as fixing some hitboxes.
So what that means is, look, a lot of people, especially content creators, can get a little fussy on why things aren't done. But you have to understand, from a business perspective, you can say, look, this looks bad, but from a business perspective, the higher ups make the decision. So even if the developer, the person who makes the stuff or makes the changes is like, they don't like it, it doesn't matter. Corporate has to hear it first. And corporate's not going to listen the first few times too. So even through the PTB, corporate wants it out. So corporate's going to push it out. It don't matter. And when it's a problem, when it's out, corporate will respond. That was a corporate response. And they're going to work on it. But it doesn't mean we're going to get what we want. There's obviously good issues they're going to be doing. But, whether that's...
Right. And that's the thing that I've touched on before is that the reason we haven't seen them take and set aside development teams to do state of the game health and do fixing the game from the ground up to make it perform better is because corporate doesn't see it as profitable.
Correct.
But that's the wrong way to look at it because it's going to guarantee that your game has longevity.
Well, you've got shareholders that make the decisions, and I believe even Tencent has a hold on DVD. When you're a big company, it's not as simple as just listening to what the people want. The developers have to be able to prove it's not in the best interest, and that has to be with the failure of the project being released.
Well,
and they don't have a QA team either, to what I understand.
Yeah.
So
yikes.
But the other thing is,
every
the shareholders
have a QA.
I would have to say, how many of the shareholders do you think actually have ever played this game? That would be my first question.
None of them. Well, none of the big guys.
Yeah,
because you
exactly.
don't. You're a business owner. It's not about. See, here's the other thing about it. It's it's more or less about like whether they play their own game, which they're not going to. A lot of people who own these businesses don't. They're there for the business, and they're not gamers all the time. So it's rough. The person with the money who owns the company, like, it might not play. There's some people that do. Like the game designer, or not again, the game, game director, I don't believe is the highest you can go, but he is the face, and he gets most of this done. Matt McCode, bless his heart, he's got his whole heart set on this game, and he's got the best interest of as many people as he can on it. But of course, he also has to follow the rules, and even if it's what majority of us would want, it's not always going to be that simple. But that's the point. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, I think that if they had people that could better make the case for it and explain exactly how a longevity of the game is better than just inflating it for becoming a cash cow, which is what they treat it like right now. I mean, it seems like.
But that's business, though. The longevity doesn't matter. The cash cow is the most important part for business. And so a business suit is only going to care about how much money you're going to pull in. It doesn't matter how long. Like, the longevity of this game surviving is irrelevant because another game can always come along. And being blindsided by a game that takes over, which hasn't happened, but the games haven't been of quality.
Monstrum 2.
World of Warcraft has done really well for many, many years. So I don't know if I can necessarily agree. To a certain extent, I would.
It's the most popular MMO, but it has been dying over the years so much so they released Classic, right? So it shows that they weren't looking for longevity because they were bleeding people. And then at the end, in order to bring people back, they looked to the original and brought that out, and they were like, money. Sure. And that's you gotta have the money to convince the business suits to invest into what you're doing. It's basic business, and it's just what's gonna happen when
I can't completely disagree. That's a very good point.
But
I hate business sometimes.
not Queen, the community, not Queen, still the community manager, I'm sure. She puts heart and soul into it, cares a lot about the community, and I guarantee you she puts up a fight in any meeting she can about what people do and do not like. However, the information is always going to be skewed too, because half the community doesn't agree with itself, and it shows even in this competitive thing. Like, people disagree at about almost every angle, and if we as a community can't be concise and agreeing on a thing, then it's too much into the air for a company to make a decision on, if that makes sense. So if one person disagrees with me on something, then suddenly what I say and what they say has to be proven in some manner. And that's unfortunate.
Sounded good to me. I mean, you're not wrong. That's the sad part, is that you're not wrong. I wish you were, but business is business, and it is what it is.
I'm a realist, man. That's probably why a lot of people don't like me. I could care less about how people feel about it. If it's a dream, it's a dream, and unfortunately, it's the truth.
Man, Tide, I just can't stand you because you're so realist.
How dare you?
Legit, people do not like me taking, like, because if someone's not feeling great about something, I'm like, well, unfortunately, that's the truth. They're like, how dare you? It's like
our my cam, okay, yeah. I just also is this lobby taken off? Did we lose? We lose.
Kinda. We lost one of them.
Sad day.
We did lose one. I don't know. Audio issues are fixed. Everything seems to be fixed on my end now. I had time to recover after the Steam crash. So yay, we don't have to deal with that in post editing. Thank goodness. I don't know what it was. My voice meter actually started acting up, so I had to restart it, I guess, is what was going on. But everything seems to be fine now. The audience is like on the edge of their seats as to when we're actually going to get, something happening.
Man.
So I said from the beginning, Deity, I believe, was where my money was at.
Yes.
And
I didn't disagree with you on that one.
I think they got it now. Unfortunately, we lost the Bubba Snowball. Let's pray they get that Bubba Snowball going again.
Just to warm up. He
that
could do
made
it
me
again.
sad because that was such a good start for Bubba, and it maybe they might be able to come back and do it again.
So
for
wait,
sure.
the game ended, right? So what were his perks? Because everyone saw it, right?
No, I
saw
was
it.
watching. That's what made me sad. I'm not going to point out
What-
until
what was
afterward,
it?
but
Oh, someone text me.
I can tell
I
you.
have to
Hang on.
know. I
Here.
have to know.
I will copy it to you here
Yeah, do that.
Yay!
Do that. That'll work.
because I loved the build, and it makes me even more sad that they know what the build is now.
Yeah, I like it. Not what I wanted, but I like it.
Exactly. I'm all down for a spice of life.
Now, Bubba would be smart to change that up to, I'd say the best for last. Agitation, iron grass, night grid. I'm just saying.
Oh man,
We got the moment. Trick them now while you got the chance.
that it's actually not allowed. You are not allowed to change perks between games if there's a reset.
Damn.
Yeah, I know. It's the current rule set. It's not the most fun, and it does have a downside to
Suck
it, but
on those resets.
it's the best thing you can do right now, unfortunately. Dude,
Hey, I have a
I can't
question.
wait until we have private servers we can do connections to, because
That'd
that
be
would eliminate
great.
a lot of the issues.
You never will.
I can dream, Harold.
We can
This
dream,
is a non-trivial.
but we
This
never
is
will.
this is an important question actually, and this is for Tide. Do you think that you'd be fine without hearing the audio from the game because my audio's stepping on you from time to
I'm
time?
not gonna
and-
lie. I haven't heard crap.
Fair
I couldn't
enough.
see
I'm gonna
half
go ahead
the
and mute
game
it then.
either from my perspective, so you're good. You do what you gotta do.
Okay.
Looks like
I'm watching at a disadvantage here. I like it, though.
we are confirmed, ready to go. It looks like from the back end. So just waiting for them to ready up now. Whenever they decide to ready up. So is this after what's going on today? Is these the stats that happened
No,
after
they're
today? Or is
exactly
it
the
still?
same.
Nope.
Oh, exactly the same.
ones.
Okay.
I could
Okay,
tell
fair
because that 97.5% gens completion. Very nice.
Hello, everyone. We're going to be going over these rules and explaining how they work. So, two teams will go head-to-head, playing each role twice for a total of 4 trials. In play order is home team kills, survives, and then kills. In addition, teams get points in the trial for objectives, escapes, and hooks. And teams can't bring or use keys, iridescents, event items, or add-ons. Survivors can only bring 2 of a perk or item. Survivors can only bring yellow and brown items, and BP bonuses are awarded post-trial. Broken rules may result in penalties or restarts. Oh my god, look at that. It's a Bubba. I am so surprised.
Who would have thunk?
Who would have thunk it, right?
Using chili?
I wonder. I just don't know. We're going to have to watch and find out.
Ooh, that
So-
Nia taking the risk right there, getting away from the pallet.
Yeah. She's actually doing pretty well. Oh, but maybe going to get caught out here. Wow,
No.
that was very close.
And there's the teabag, ladies and gentlemen. Assert your dominance. It seems that this game's not going to be as smooth as the last one. Darn
No.
you, Steam servers.
That's unfortunate, but something that's out of our control, and we just have to deal with it. And finding
yes.
Serena over here by the wagon.
Zarina, you better run, girl. He coming. But
She
you know,
does
the
take a
good thing
smack.
is he's eating these pallets, and that's the value he's getting out of it.
That's
is that
true.
the pallets go now, and she's gonna get the hop. Likely.
Wow.
Oh, she down. Oh, got him with the corner. Should've
I
seen
thought he
that
might have
coming
actually
myself.
tantrumed there, but he actually hit it. That was nice. And he's doing his thing again.
Oh. Oh, but his basement changed well. He had a basement over here last
Yeah,
time,
he
too.
did.
I would have preferred that. Would have been a good
Well-
basement for him to have edge of the map, and then he could have defended kind of a wider range. Though, yes, the center basement isn't bad,
Yeah.
but for that one, it takes survivors a long time to even get over there, which means Bubba's got a lot of time to get back over there, too. Ooh, those pallets dropping fast. 2 generators already complete, and it
Oh, I think
seems
she
like
goes
we
down
are-
here.
Yep. There goes another survivor. What
2
more do
gens
you
done.
want?
2 hooks. So 2 for 2.
That now, he's gonna have to find a way, like the Spirit did, to apply a lot more pressure and prevent them from getting the final gen. That's the biggest part. He can lose his early gens because that should always be expected. But when the basement.
He does get the basement though, which is great. This is gonna be devastating.
Chat, vote whether or not you think she's going to die. Do we get basement, Billy? We
Basement
had
Bubba.
that hot spit first.
I could see I'd get them mixed up though. Billy is a lot sexier though.
Yes. Oh no. Basement. Oh no. She's caught. It's a death guaranteed.
Nice.
Oh no. Is he gonna drop her and go to the basement? Drop her and go to the basement. Do it. I believe. Oh no. Is there a
What
hook
is he
here?
doing? No, he's not gonna do
He's
it.
going to a hook. He's going
to the hook.
Oh, she's going. Oh no, I'm absolutely terrified because if they get it now, he's walking right to the basement. Woo! It's gonna be a double kill. Here we go. Come on.
Very well
Bubba.
could be.
Here he is.
It's close.
Chainsaw.
She does
And
get one.
Drop the pallet.
Two.
3 down at once. It's up to, I think that's Serena.
Holy cow.
Oh my goodness. This is it. This is the value I've been talking about. If people want to know what
Bubba.
value is, you just watched it. He just went to Walmart and got a 2-for-1 sale. Delicious.
Jesus Christ. That was
Someone's
insane.
eating steak tonight. Zarina, what are you doing, sweetheart? You're just kind of out in the open. Here goes the best time to make the basement save right here would have been when he picked up the second one to go to the basement. You would take the sacrifice, but you get one out of there. There's no way in hell you're getting 2 out of there now. It is over. And he caught the last one, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh boy.
It's over. It's over. Do you have any special play? Oh no, I don't think she does. She's got pallet to pallet. This reminds me too much of the games I play in casuals. This is me as the solo survivor going,
Oh no.
and down.
What?
But someone got off the hook. Everyone's saved. I didn't notice that. Oh,
Deliverance?
There is hope. It might have been there was no deliverance. It was a 4%. Had to be because there was no one. Well, did they make a save earlier? I don't think they did. Did they?
I don't know. I don't
Deliverance,
think
they're
so.
broken.
I think there's a deliverance play. Squid
There was
with the
deliverance
deliverance on Nia, I think. So they're actually maybe able to kind of recover this a little bit.
Kind of. They're all like death on hook, and here it goes. Claudette, what are you gonna do? Boom. M1 down. Done. Get out of here. You can go hide in bushes elsewhere, but not here. Good day, madam. That's
Salty
another
Medic in
death
chat
as
says,
well.
"Bro, what is this match?" Yeah, this
Bubba
is a
go
mess.
brr. That's the
Yeah,
best.
this is a mess.
So when you're playing against Bubba, especially since you knew you were playing against Bubba and you have sprint burst, you kind of let him get close. But you always stay in a safe zone with a window, and you don't waste pallets because once those are gone, you're gone. And man, not getting that pallet drop, she should have just sacked the other person. I understand she just saved her and she was injured, but that double down there. You had to make the selfish play because getting 2 people in the basement's far worse than losing 1 person because now your whole team is screwed. Oh,
And that was a beautiful styptic agent too by Nia.
Oh no! Here's the other interesting thing: is he gonna slug for that final kill, or is he gonna play the let's find the hatch game? That's the important part. This is an unsafe pallet. This is a very scary pallet indeed. And Bubba making decisions, cut the corner, and one final survivor. Unfortunately, he doesn't have to play. But he didn't see her drop off. Oh, she's got the distance. She's got, I think, balance landing and or sprint burst, one of the others, but definitely used an exhaustion perk. Got away. Oh, but she made noise. Oh, you don't do that, sweetheart. You could have. This is scary.
But he's not finding her.
I don't think he's not. I don't think he wanted to. I think he's just trying to make sure she doesn't get up with Unbreakable or something. Because Unbreakable is still a possibility, which is smart. Should probably just go for the hook right now.
That's exactly what he's doing.
There we go.
Yeah.
She's going to stay up there. Now she's got to be
What is
careful.
wrong with you, Bubba?
He's enjoying. One thing I never tested is whether or not that actually gives you a speed boost. It might have used to at one point, so maybe that's why
I don't think it does.
Used to for Legion with his back when he could keep swinging with Frenzy. You keep swinging and it kept pushing you forward.
Uh-oh.
It was delicious.
Spotted ahead. She spotted ahead in the bushes. Oh, man.
Oh, he found the hatch. Oh, he's got this.
Hatch is dead center right there in the map, too. Right in front of the saloon.
It's over. What is she going to do? You know what she could do? She could do a generator.
She could,
If you're going to get points,
it's points.
Get a generator.
But I think SampleTex may have actually pulled it ahead here and taken a W and actually pulled out ahead of Deity entirely just because of this one game. That is amazing.
It's way too close to call. It is way too close to call.
It really is very close.
Wait, this is Deity playing as survivors, and I put my money on them. Why did you fail me like this? It's Bubba!
Yeah, you owe me like what, 10 grand already? What is?
10 grand. Jesus.
Oh, she's now dead, and this is going to be the hatch play that she needed, or he needed rather.
She could get a
Kick
door.
Kick it. No, she's not getting a door. There's no way.
And it's possible.
Adrenaline though,
especially in. Oh, it's possible with the dead zone because you can very easily hide as long as he doesn't know. But he's got a nice little surprise for them. That adrenaline
depends on.
No.
Oh
no, they're both invisible. Dude,
No.
That's like never gonna happen.
Not a chance.
It's over.
GG, Bubba. Just oh boy. Yeah.
I do wanna remind everybody. The Nia teabagged at the beginning.
That's true. She kind of had this coming.
To yourself.
They did. They did this themselves. They deserve it.
Honestly, those progressions might get them though. You know, like it's really close. Those bonus points could squeak it out.
Yeah, progression hooks don't count as much as an actual physical hook. It's an interesting fact that we have in the scoring system. But yeah, wow. That Noed getting him down. Didn't even really get to use his endgame build, which was Noed and Blood Warden.
Poggy, you missed the chance. You should have said, and that is an instant down.
Oh,
come on.
And that is an instant down. There, you feel better now, Rue? You feel better?
Yes.
Jeez, this guy.
You're
not even supposed to be here. Really well played. Oof. What the hell? My brain.
Believe it. I can't believe
is in the lead by 1 point right now.
I look.
Going to determine it.
Blood points will determine
talked about how the survivors made mistakes last round, but goddamn Deity walked into every saw.
Yeah, that was bad. That was bad play by them, unfortunately. I mean, they're not a bad survivor squad either. That's the sad part. They just had a hard time.
Just a mistake. This is nerves, mistakes, Bubba. Maybe this was the trump card after all to put you ahead.
In the chat, Squid says, fair enough, GG. Oh, that's really funny. Wow. That's fascinating.
I think the double down was horrible.
69 to 68. Nice.
So Deity still won?
No, SampleTex took it home with 1 point ahead. Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, let's do a post-game review and we'll be right back with some highlights. Holy cow. I hope this is... I haven't updated this. I hope it works. We'll see. Everybody, we were just watching Week 4 matchup. Conference rivals, SampleTex versus Deity. It's been a fantastic matchup, and the last game was so intense and tight. I'm impressed at how well SampleTex did. Here's what you just witnessed. 3 generators getting done, unfortunately not enough for Deity to pull ahead with 0 escapes, not even able to get Hatch at the end because Bubba knew exactly where it was. 9 hooks from Bubba, 3 progressions in total with 4 fantastic kills. Lots of chainsaws, beautiful plays, 69 to 68. SampleTex taking the lead and, oh yeah, they are convicted of murder. So well done to SampleTex pulling out ahead of Deity by just a smidge. Just a smidge. Here are the post-game highlights. Rue, Tide, just take it over. You guys got this.
I don't want to talk about this.
I
put my money on Deity and they failed me so hard. I expected so much more. Like, look at the Nia play there. Perfect. And then immediately runs into the open. It's a dead zone guaranteed every time over here. Come on. Chainsaw right up the rump. You're not going to get any other difference. It doesn't matter if you... Bubba's worth their salt. know how to go around objects. They're worth their salt. And there's your down, Nia, and look at him get away with murder. Then we got the Claudette running around here. There was a window to take, and a window here. I think she got away, right? And then he took the side wall, broke it open, and then you run away from the window. Why? And then you got in the locker. I forgot about that. And then it was a free kill no matter what, because he can cancel his saw or keep it going. If you jump out, he either saws or grabs you. And that was second death coming in. But then going down to the basement, going to make that other save, dangerous as hell. Definitely probably should have done a locker play. Someone should have probably gone to the window instead of following out the pallet. One of the things I try to teach people all the time is stop running in the same direction as me. It makes him chase both of us. And that chainsaw went right through both of them. It was like the easiest spear fishing you've ever done with a chainsaw. But unfortunately, now if Nancy had died to collapse, it's not a hook, right?
I believe they get the same points as a hook. I think Sam, I had to confirm. I don't think we've ever actually had the entity killed.
Yeah, entity kills. Entity is 3 points.
Oh, so it's much worse than a hook.
I think the same points as a third hook. No, I think what was the biggest issue, in my opinion, they got 2 gens done. At that point, I don't think they only got a bunch of first hooks. Often what we see to deny points to the killer in these last games is after you've got 1 or 2 gens done for your own set of points, just kill yourselves on first hook. You only get 1 point for each progression. You get 1 hook or 1 point for the first hook. You deny the killer a ton of points by doing that. And you got your 2 gens done. You've got an amount of points. You're denying the killer a bunch of points as well in blood points because they didn't do hardly anything. You can starve the killer for a ton of points at the end. I'm surprised they didn't go with that strat. Instead, they gave him, I think, an additional 4 hooks that they didn't have to, I think. Maybe even 5.
I think the idea was that they didn't intend to die against the Bubba. And then it just snowballed out of control, like the hit here over the pallet. That's a risky play, but actually, if you didn't know, one way to play around that is if Bubba is too close to the pallet, he'll auto-lock onto the pallet and saw it. So instead of jumping it, she could have just ran around it, and then he would have force-sawed the pallet, and she would have had a few more seconds. Best defense against a Bubba, window every time.
For sure. And also, we didn't mention this. If any of the teams want to come in for cross-examinations, we are more than we will love to hear from you. Deity and sample text. But
bring in the Deity. I have questions.
I have questions. That's good. I'm still trying to process what we just saw. That was a crazy set of matches. That was really, really fun to watch. Got a bunch of different killers going at it too. I enjoyed this match. Honestly, one of the things that surprised me was the chainsaws. The hitbox for the chainsaw looked like it was bigger this time around than I remember. Because when we were looking from the killer's perspective, that survivor was actually kind of far out there, and they were getting down way further out than I was expecting. I don't know if that is...
It has to do with the animations. Because when it comes to the hitboxes, they're just cylinders around. So the fact they stand with a stick up their butt, it looks a lot different than their butt sticking out at you. So there's a little discrepancy on like where it should be. But yeah, definitely perspective is going to be a huge thing on that.
Okay, yeah. And I think that might be one of the things that some people are talking about is like, hey, can we get this fixed so it looks a little bit more like what we're seeing on the screen? That makes sense.
Right. I think that's like what they tried to do and fix Freddy. One of Freddy's issues is his weapon's one of the smallest ones. And the way he's also really small. So when he claws outwards, it looks like it shouldn't hit, but it's the same size as every other killer. So when it comes down to it, it just looks like he shouldn't hit you, but it's absolutely fair. He lunges at the same speed as everyone else. It's no different.
Fair enough. And I don't see anyone from Deity coming in just yet. I suppose we can move to Certified Persona. They were the killer both times, so... All right. Well, with that, I will let Ty take over the cross-examination. Thank you very much.
Who do I have? Spirit?
We got Certified Persona, who was the killer. That was the Bubba and the Blight.
We don't talk about that Blight match, but yes.
Yeah, we don't talk about that. One of the things you proved to me, son, was Blight not that good, Bubba way better. That's what I saw. The value you got out of your power was outright. Like, it's not even a question in games how good your power was as Bubba. So why pick Blight?
Okay, so originally we were kind of stumped on killers. We were really unsure what we wanted to go. So after quite a few practice matches, I felt like I was doing quite well with Blight on the map until I discovered that objects don't have hitbox. So I was sliding off half of them during that match. But yeah, I thought like his speed was going to give enough pressure because obviously Deity love their gens. They do them very impressively quickly. So I was hoping Blight would be able to like pressure them enough.
So why not play into Blight's lack of strength and play a build that helps you chase a little better, being that that's all you're doing?
Honestly, I was just going for full slowdown. I was hoping I'd be able to give myself enough time to start snowballing and slowing them down, but I dare not call myself a Blight main anymore after that, honestly.
So you're are you maining Bubba after this then?
I thought I shouted after that last game. I was like, I'm maining Bubba.
Bubba's a good. So one thing I was talking to people about was the fact that Blight is probably the lesser of all the speed characters in terms of like lunges. For example, you have Demogorgon, who's a bit more consistent on line shots. So have you tried Demogorgon? Is that something in your field? And do you like Blight better than Demogorgon? How consistent is Blight for you compared to Demogorgon?
Okay, I feel like I feel like I'm a good Blight player, but on that map, I just felt like I was so claustrophobic. You know, there was a lot of space where I was just bouncing into rocks, bouncing into trees, bouncing into cactuses, you name it. I do like the speed killers. I play Oni as a main. I played him last week, I believe, on a swamp, and I just really like the high speed killers. I don't play Billy. I've been trying to learn Billy, but I just like the speed really. I used to play Demogorgon probably a few months ago, but I felt like I just wasn't getting value out of his portals, so I was just like, I don't know if it's a killer for me, and then I picked up Blight. I was like,
well, yeah. let me ask. Blight only has a charge forward, so let's say you're not getting value out of the portals of Demogorgon. Isn't Demogorgon's lunge worth it for you?
Oh, I do like it. I do use it quite a lot, but I don't know. I just like Blight's. I know he doesn't play like a hit and run character, but being able to hit and run is I just like it really. I just like having that on-demand speed.
So then it's more of a, I personally like this thing, and I'm definitely going to make it work. Well, I hope you do, because that's probably always voting for the underdog. But I very clearly added the 2 games, or 4 games actually. Blight was probably the worst killer of all. Hag second, and then Spirit following, and then Bubba. Bubba being one of the best. So congratulations
by that game, honestly.
Yeah, me too. I after your first start when it crashed, I fully expected you to wipe them then, and then it crashed, and I was like, well, there that goes. And then Nia was dodging you, teabagging you, and then you were like, oh. Hold my poop.
I thought that was it. I thought like that game was such a good start, but now Steam has just crashed and I've lost that good start. But no, I luckily managed to get another good start.
I think you got a better ending than what you would have got too. In fact, you got a double basement and center.
Double basement cleave. Yum.
Well, certified. Do you want to wait around for just a second? We got Q-Top here that I'm going to drag in, and Q-Top is from Deity.
That was the Spirit player.
Q-Top, you there? Yes, that was the Spirit. Q-Top, you played Spirit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did you play Hag?
No, I did not play Hag. Okay. I despise Hag.
Good.
Me too.
All right,
well,
so
Tyde, if you want to take this over.
Spirit-wise, I mean, I don't really have anything to say to you. You did good. You pressured him right. But let me ask you, how much value do you actually get out of Ruin?
I think I got a ton of value that game.
But was it because you chased them off, or because the value I saw from the perspective of what I was shown, I didn't see the value of Ruin taking effect. Because most of the people you were chasing weren't even working on gens; they just kept walking into you.
Yeah, it was definitely an interesting situation because the little bit that they did work on the gens, when they started to do the gen, it would just regress immediately back down because I had such a tight 3 gen. So in that regard, I think having Ruin there was a nice I can just sit here and chase people around in my 3 gen and just do nothing. It just made it easier, I guess.
So how much were you relying on them being injured to find them through phasing?
Not a whole lot. I'm fairly new to Spirit. I have probably like 20 hours on her. Like I just started to pick her up. It was a little bit weird trying to find people when they were uninjured. There's a couple instances that I can remember where I heard like one little breath and just snapped onto them and got the hit, but it's definitely something I need to put more time into and learn. But
did you run Strider? I don't remember.
No, I didn't.
No? Do you consider running Strider?
I thought about it last night, but this was kind of a last minute decision to just throw in the Spirit because I've been trying to put more time into her and learn her and see how I did with her, I guess. I've thought about running Strider, but at the same time, I also kind of see it as a wasted perk slot in a way. If you're able to do it without it, then I think you should. So we'll see. We'll figure it out. I'm still fairly new to her, so I still have a lot of learning on her to do, but...
No, I think you did fairly good now. The questions I have for the Hag player, there's a lot of questions to have about that. Mostly because, in my eyes, Hag is not great. In a lot of other people's eyes, Hag's fantastic. So I would like to see... It's all about the defensive and whether... But unfortunately, her defensive didn't work because they got away with 3-gen versus your Spirit, which held the 3-gen for as long as she could. Now, how did you feel about the Deliverance play and then going back to the gate? Did you think there was Decisive Strike? Did you let her stay there because you didn't want to get struck? What was in
the Spirit game?
Yeah, at the end of it.
I knew... So once I saw her Deliverance, I just decided to drop the Nia, I believe it was, and then go back to the hook. And the reason why I didn't want to pick her up, one, because she Deliverance off the hook, so... Once her broken status goes away anyway, that means she doesn't have DS. It's basically like a built-in timer. So I just sat there and waited it, and I knew where Hatch was, and if she somehow was able to get there, I didn't want to deal with it, so I just went the safe route. And
you weren't worried at all that she would go save Nia?
No. The doors were so close, there was no way for them to do it against the Spirit. I wasn't really stressing about that. I figured she would just... If I didn't see her start coming towards Nia then I had to assume that she would be somewhere near the gate.
Fair play. It was very good. You caught her off guard. Called her out, too.
Yeah.
That's really all I got for you. Your Spirit was as good as it gets.
Certified and top, is there anything y'all want to say to each other?
Your Bubba's cracking, bro. I don't know.
I
don't know what
that was intense. I don't know what happened there, but it was fun.
I don't know what we were doing. I will say the hits felt a little wonk, but you played well. So
I'll take GPU's spot whenever you're ready. But no, good game.
Yeah. And, get rid of that kid. We're recruiting.
You are really good at Spirit. I just want to say I felt oppressed to all hell when I was going.
I appreciate it.
Yeah,
you're a very good team, very good killer. It was fun. GG's.
Right, like
I gotta be honest, just to build on that a little bit. Y'all's week 2 performance sample text made me like question if y'all were really as strong as y'all are in fact. And then after seeing y'all this week, it's clear that y'all definitely are one of the stronger teams in the league.
We feel improvement.
We definitely need to do some studying more on how we want to play these, because I feel like that has come into effect a couple of times. Because in our reality, after the match, we looked at it, and we could have all just sat in the middle, let you kill us, die on hook, and we could have won.
that is fact.
That you didn't do that.
I guess we're not
points.
I guess we're not too really familiar on the whole scoring system here yet. I mean, all we've really played in our time as being a team has been Dead by Esports tourneys,
which is kill survive ratio, right? Which is why we came up with the point system, because when I watch a lot of comp matches, you see a lot of camping that first person to death, and I've always questioned if there wasn't some more volume we could be getting out of the game by making that maybe not the best way to go. But when you did it with the Spirit, it was at the perfect time. So I was looking at it and I was like, well, if you're going to do it, that's where you do it. You do it right there.
I think I kind of figured out how to play killer under the rule set. The survivor side is still a work in progress. It's definitely different for us. because just the way points are given and all that kind of stuff is definitely different. We've been basically used to only one scoring system our whole time. Like we're only 2-3 month old team, and we've only been playing the same scoring system over and over again.
That was the other downfall I saw in the comp world was I really don't feel like Survivor has any value. I feel like all the value is given to Killer the majority of the time in comp play. And so you can muddle by on mediocre Survivor play, but you have to be an elite Killer in most of the other comps. And I was like, no, let's give Survivor some power here. So and I still think there's always room to improve on the rules and build. But anyway, is there anything y'all want to say to the stream before we move on out of here?
Hashtag revert DBD movement, boys. Yeah, man.
I think we all support that. Hashtag revert DBD.
I can appreciate
And Mr. Tide, if you want to take us out.
Don't prepare me for an out. I'm the guest here. I've got my outro. What do you guys?
I just wanted to throw you in the deep end and see what happened.
Give me something, chat. We gotta roll with this one. Thank you all for watching Vigo's Court. Court is now out of session. Now get the hell out. We'll see you all next time.
Go to vigoscourt.com. Go to vigoscourt. Give me some merch. You got it, guys. See you later.
Get the merch. I like. Merch.
Games tomorrow.
Oh yeah, games tomorrow. Doubleheader. 7 o'clock p.m. to 10. So before the first gen even pops,
Make you wanna call my name.
trying to bait out a hit there, but not able to get it. Ricky's AT able to get away. That was a missed decisive strike. And that is an insta-down.